address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ALL to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 42424. That's ALL to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get ready to rumble.
Licensing of the phrase "let's get ready to rumble" just over the last 7+ years internationally is grossed approximately close to $400 million in retail sales.
Really?
You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
On 1620, The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome in. Happy Friday. It is the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. It's Football Friday. We had Football Thursday last night. Then we get Football Friday. That's how it works. And then Football Saturday, and then Football Sunday, and then Football Monday.
Oh, wow, so much football.
And it's amazing. You know, the question was asked this week to Deion Sanders, and it was sort of asked to Matt Rule as well. Did you ever stop and take a look around every once in a while? And my answer today is yes. While Nebraska is 0-2, let's stop. Let's take a look around and be appreciative that the football is all around us. That we get to watch an eagle fly from the stands and onto the field last night on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. And then we get to watch high school football under the lights tonight. And then we get to watch Nebraska rekindle their rivalry with Northern Illinois tomorrow and various other college football games of note. And that we get to watch the NFL, which is the greatest show on television, on Sunday and on Monday Night Football. Let us stop for a moment and be thankful.
Yeah.
It could be a grind sometimes, Josh. And you could really say, oh, man, this season is blown. Nebraska's 0-2, but there's football all around us, and for this, we are happy. You know what else is all around us?
What?
Dave Chappelle tickets.
Oh.
We have Dave Chappelle tickets that we'll be giving away. The show's on Monday. We will be I'll be asking a trivia question of you all.
Ooh.
At some point during the show today. We'll have you call in. We'll have you answer that. So we got that on the line.
Not right now.
Not right now. Not right now. Don't call. Don't give us the cascading phone lines yet. You can call if you have anything to say about Nebraska or anything else this weekend. But you can now win Dave Chappelle tickets right now. You can only win Dave Chappelle tickets when I tell you that you can win Dave Chappelle tickets. Happy Friday. We'll have our normal list of guests for a Friday Saturday home game today. Nobody's in transit. Nobody's taxiing on a runway. Nobody's annoying people around them in seat 13B that they're trying to do a radio interview while they're on the flight.
It's kind of awkward.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, I'm taxiing, so I can't quite do it. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it. So our guests will all be accounted for. Bryan Munson, Bryan Christopherson, and Steve Sipple will join the show. That is the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll have our keys and P's. Our keys, maybe not necessarily to victory for Nebraska, but to keys to avoiding insanity this weekend. That's what this is all about, right? It's avoid insanity weekend for Nebraska fans. We might drive ourselves insane.
TCB
if things go wrong, and then we'll have our picks in a little bit of a lighter, weaker slate in college football. But with that, there does come a positive. There was many options for our Sickos game of the week this week. I have chosen.
All right,
and we will unveil that in the 1 o'clock hour when we make our picks. We'll hear from Matt Rule yesterday talking about Jeff Sims and also unpacking the mental side of where his team's at a little bit more. Matt Rule has been really, really careful about going there because, as he said all along, hey, I don't want to talk about the things that happened here before me. This is the team that I inherited. This is my team. With that being said, I think he realizes that the team he has inherited has a little bit of baggage to him, and not just necessarily from a football side, but from a mental side. So he unpacked that a little bit yesterday, and it was interesting stuff. So we will hear about that. I continue to think that Heinrich Haarberg will start his first game as Nebraska quarterback tomorrow. And we may not know until that old injury report comes out a couple hours before the game starts. Yeah, Josh, remember the injury report?
That's
we were like,
right.
yeah, the good job, Big Ten. You're doing an injury report. So we may find out at that point. I am curious about a couple things going on the internet that I have seen over the last 24 hours. Josh may be grunting at the NFL schedule, which is going to be, another great bit that we do. We will talk about a story that I saw this morning on Sports Illustrated. We had Connor Orr on last year to talk about various NFL topics, and we may have to have him on again because he wrote a story about the origin of the phrase "getting your piss hot," which I am a huge fan of. It's a very football guy term, and so there was a bit of an origin story on that. And I want to dive into it a little bit during the show, as only this show and dumb shows can. The conference basketball schedules are out. Creighton has a schedule. I know people might not be the most interested in that on a football Friday, but they do have a conference schedule. It is, as the Peterman called it, a Villanova sandwich in conference play. Villanova to start conference play on December the 20th. Villanova to end on March the 9th at Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia. And then inside of that is a Marquette sandwich.
Oh.
Marquette on the road to start. Marquette is your last home game in conference. So you can usually tell what the conference thinks is going, who the conference thinks is going to be the top 3 or 4 teams in the league. If that's any indication, Creighton, Villanova, and Providence, Creighton, Villanova, and Marquette are going to be right there at the top. But there's a bunch of stories with that this year. I don't know how much we'll talk about that, but the conference slate is out for you J-skers or you J fans in general. So it's that's floating around the internet. Welcome to the show. Happy Friday. You can tweet at us at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. You can send us an email in the Equitable Bank inbox, Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com. We say good morning to our YouTube watchers. Yippee always starts us off with a nice, hi guys, hello, which is appreciated. We felt like the need to comment back today. So we're in there. Mix it up, fire it up in the chat this morning. We love to see it. And you could also call our text 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. And that is where we go to begin a Friday show. Let's set the tone with Rick. Rick, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Start off with the sort of factual thing, then I'll go to my bad humor as usual. Hey, real excited to see the Rezac kid from Westside. I think he's going to be attending the game tomorrow. He kind of gives me a little bit of hope for the future. He looks like he's the top high school quarterback in the state, along with the lad out there at Wahoo Newman, who averages about 15 yards a game per carry. But getting back to my folly, I've got a friend over in Iowa. His name's Clarence. This story is fictional, but at least it's funny. Clarence and we talk football every now and then, and Clarence is an Iowa Hawkeye fan, and I've been needling in lately about Iowa's a little bit more backwards than Nebraska. And he says, how's that? And I said, well, the best two things coming out of Iowa are I-80 and I-29. And then I said, your football team is so methodical and boring. I said, I can almost use the replays to get me to sleep at night. And then he countered. He said, well, Rick, your football team kind of reminds me of food. And I said, food? I said, what kind of food? He said, turnovers. So have a good day, guys.
What the hell?
The hell just happened?
He could have said that story was real.
Yeah.
He said, no, this is a fake story. I'm making it up right now as we go.
Andy on the YouTube chat. If you're telling a joke, don't start it with this is a fictional story.
I know. Yeah, you really cut off the funny part of the story. I would have believed you if that was real. I'm sure that's an actual real conversation going on between the two states right now, or just generally by people in the state of Nebraska.
Chance, cue sad trombone noises.
Do we have anything like that on here?
I don't think so.
I don't know. We have like Price is Right horns or anything like that.
I thought we did, but I don't think we did.
No. The only thing we got is this.
Who you crapping?
Who you crapping?
Who you crapping? Also, just while we're doing random things.
Yeah, dumb stuff. Yep.
The Wheel, 1 year ago today.
Holy God.
The Wheel was born 1
So
year
once
ago
again,
today.
thank you, Josh. Perspective.
On this day in Happer history.
1 year ago today, we debuted the Wheel of Coaches, which lasted 3 months until Nebraska got a coach. Think about it. 1 year ago today, we were in the heat of a coaching search. Matt Rule hadn't even been fired from the Panthers yet. We had no idea. Matt Rule was barely a twinkle in our eye at that point. And now here we are. I will take this and figuring out football problems all day long rather than spinning that damn wheel again. Now, don't get me wrong. I love spinning the wheel, but it was spinning the wheel out of necessity. And I'm glad that we don't have to do that this time around. So once again, perspective. Everybody's all down in the dumps. Nebraska's 0-2, blah, 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 blah. But we got football, and we're not in a coaching search.
That's a good thing. We're not in a coaching search.
We're not in a coaching search.
Despite some people wanting us to be in a coaching search.
Now, I don't think that's really out there that much, but people have varying levels of patience for things. Something that we'll discuss when we talk about when we hear from Matt Rule here coming back in just a couple minutes. Once again, love it if you got in touch with the show, even if you have a fictitious story to tell us. You fire right away. Iowa JD says, "Can we start blacklisting callers? Rick is number one." So what happens when we get callers, and we have the same group of, I don't know, 10 to 15 callers that basically call into the show.
Sure.
And all the people in the YouTube chat or on Twitter are like, hey, why do you guys let these people in? I don't know. They're part of the show. We love Rick.
Yeah.
Rick, keep calling in and telling us fake stories.
Don't let the haters get you down.
Random Mike, keep calling in and saying random stuff.
Yeah.
Triggered Bob, keep calling in and telling us a percentage in which you're triggered today.
Shooters shoot.
Hap, I'm only 26% triggered today. Well, it doesn't sound like you're triggered at all. Yes. Please call into the show. We're a big, happy family here at the Connor Happer Show. Coming back, we'll hear from Matt Rule, diving into some of the mental things that plague this team right now as they head into their very first home game. You know what Matt Rule's going to do tomorrow? He's going to take a step back and he's going to enjoy it. because it's going to be football Memorial Stadium for the 100th year.
That's right.
I've enjoyed all the stories this week. Evan Bland, by the way, wrote a great story in the World Herald, just kind of walking around the stadium. And the thing that you obviously notice about Memorial Stadium is that it is a mishmash of 100 years. There is stuff that was built yesterday. There is stuff that will be built tomorrow. There is stuff that was built in each of the decades leading to this one since the stadium's, dedication in the early 20s. And then there are some things that are still there that were originally there, like floating doors over random doors, like bathrooms in the West Stadium that have been there since 1923. And they have tiny little doors. And the things that you're reminded of is that people were smaller in 1923.
True.
Much smaller. So the doors were smaller and everything was just tighter. It's a great little history trip of Memorial Stadium. I'm sure we'll see more of those throughout this season. We will return with Matt Rule audio and more on a Friday edition of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
This might be one of those games where I'm watching it, but listening to podcasts while I watch the game.
You would listen to podcasts while watching a game?
I have before. What the hell? What? That's a normal activity.
No, that is not normal.
How is it not normal? I can
That's not multitasking. That's not tasking.
That sounds like hell. What do you mean? I get to watch football and listen to Bill Simmons.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A few showers moving through the metro area today, most likely moving out by the evening hours. We're going to hit a high of around 76 degrees. Partly cloudy overnight. Tomorrow morning, if you're in western Iowa, a brief chance of a shower, although most of us will be dry, and hit a high in the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is and has always been locally owned and operated. Now, with 160 employee owners, chances are one of us lives in your neighborhood. We take pride in taking care of you, our customers, and keeping you comfortable all year round. And as always, our technicians don't have sales quotas. When other companies send salespeople, Standard Sense qualified technicians is just part of.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Husker football head coach Matt Rule gave an injury update on starting quarterback Jeff Sims.
I'm not sure what Jeff's status will be for the game. He's progressing. As you guys know, Thursday for us is a walkthrough day. Friday will be a full practice day. So I know he feels like he's getting better. He's moving around and stuff. So we'll see how he does tomorrow.
Backup Chubba Purdy suffered a minor injury earlier in the year, but Rule said he's getting much better.
Chubba had some plays last night where he pulled it down and ran. So looked good. So I think he's probably not back 100%, but I don't know if anybody is during football season, to be honest with you.
Rule said he was happy with Heinrich Hardberg's performance against Colorado when he came in relief for Sims.
Well, I like the way he took the field last week. He went out there excited to play and ready to go, even though it was, sort of at the end of the game, it was an opportunity for him to play. He hasn't really played very much, so I think he was excited to get out there. I think he's all week been confident to kind of taking things we're asking him to do and running with them.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I've heard a lot this week of people, comparing what Deion Sanders has done at Colorado to what Matt Rule has done at Nebraska so far. And they say, well, why didn't we hire Deion Sanders? We could have flipped it over really quickly. And Matt Rule is not going to do so. And why does it need to take so long in this current era of college football? And I will give you a little bit of credence on this one. The thing that is now good, if just pretending in this, once again, we're telling fictitious stories today. If Deion Sanders had become the head coach at Nebraska, what does he do right away? He cleans out the entire roster. And what do you do if you clean out the entire roster in Nebraska's specific situation? Well, you get rid of a lot of the emotional and mental scarring from the Scott Frost era that is lingering now into the Matt Rule era. So I'll give you that one. I'll give you some credence in that position. Nebraska went the direction that they did, and it's been a challenge now for Matt Rule to try and get that to go away. As he said, he's going to double down on the process, and they're going to try and figure it out one way or another. But if they had a completely new roster of players, then maybe this isn't as much of an issue. I still, situationally, I still don't know if he's necessarily the right fit here. Maybe he is, maybe he's not, whatever it might be. But I thought about that a little bit yesterday. And it was after Matt Rule sort of spoke. Let's get to some of the audio here. And first he was sort of asked about Jeff Sims and him, maybe putting too much pressure on himself. And he didn't really want to go there that much with him. And then I think after a second, he sort of unloaded on it a little bit. So here he was asked about some guys that maybe have surprised him this season. And you're thinking, okay, how are we going to get to something a little bit deeper in this question? Well, he takes it there. So he's asked about guys that have surprised him this season. And then he ends up kind of taking it in a completely different place. I think this is something that Matt Rule just wanted to say. Here he is yesterday.
I think, when you look at guys on defense like Mekhi Bear, went for someone that, I remember when he first got here, it was almost like, hey, do you guys even want me here? He was just kind of defeated a little bit, to now a guy that's flying around. What I do see, and I see a lot of guys just kind of making jumps, right? Even as we play right now, I saw MJ Sherman probably play his best game. You see, so many. I don't want to forget anyone, but I think overall, you have guys like Deshaun and Omar who haven't really played for Nebraska, and all of a sudden now they're out there playing pretty good football. And I think Ramir has been a real bright spot for us in a kind of a tough stretch offensively. I think Fidoni's really rounding into shape right now. Bonner's doing so. As Coach Paterno used to always tell us, you're never as good as you think you are when you win. You're never as bad as you think you are when you lose. I think there's a lot of bright spots. The hard thing for us is keeping the guys just sort of pressing forward, right? Because they feel the pressure, they feel the letdown, they feel the constant sort of like, hey, is this gonna work out this week? It didn't work out last week, and so we're just, again, it's how you learn how to win. It's not going away. You have to learn how to just play right through it. So
okay, so that ended in a completely different place than it started. Hey, here are some guys, and it ended in. Well, I think there's some guys who are feeling the pressure a little bit right now. Speaking, by the way, of the aforementioned Deion Sanders, he is currently on First Take, being asked about Jay Norvell's comments.
His kids were on there earlier,
and everybody is wearing his style of sunglasses. So
like children,
if you're interested in that show, by the way, First Take live from Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah. With The Rock and Pat McAfee are going to be there later today.
So so we got Stephen A, we got Molly, Shannon, and then Deion is on stage right now. Anyway, so he ended it in a completely different place than it started. So the follow-up is, and I think Max Olson was there yesterday, and he asked this question, like, how have you seen players respond to losses? And how do has it been interesting to see how players have responded to these losses so far this year? Because think about it, put yourself in the player's shoes. They're starting a new era, and it's like, oh, everything's going to get better because it's a slate that's wiped clean. And then all of a sudden you're playing football again, and it feels the same. And it feels really similar to what it has in the years past. You're like, man, how is this possible? So how do you break that? Here's Matt Rule yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's just there's a dichotomy here. There's two different, there's probably like two different groups, right? There's me who's sitting here like, man, we're 0-2. Okay, well, we're so close to Minnesota. We should have won that game. Like, okay, we're close. Hey, Colorado, man, we just kind of let go of the rope a little bit in the third quarter, putting the ball on the ground uncharacteristically. Man, I probably didn't do a good enough job. Okay, let's just do this. It's just a process for me. It's very like methodical, right? And it's like, okay, fix this. Oh, that looks good. Let's do more of this. For a lot of guys, it's like, man, 3 years of this, and they're hearing that probably out there a lot, right? And it's like, for me, it's 2 games. For them, it's 3 or 4 years. And so it feels hopeless. To me, it feels exciting, exhilarating. It's like, all right, man, we're like, we competed against Minnesota all the way to the very end. And we let it go of it. Like, that was our fault. It wasn't like, hey, we got to go out and recruit some more. It's like, we're close, right? So that's the challenge. As I sit there in my office last night, it's 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, whatever it was. I'm sitting there kicking it with Giff or Nick. I have great older players here, and they want to win so much. And just, I'm talking to the younger players. It's just, they certainly feel it. Like I can just kind of go back and forth to work and listen to a little country music and not pay attention. They're hearing and seeing everything, and so it's affecting them, obviously. But it's affecting them because they care, and that's what I love about them. And so I'm just going to keep trying my best to help them.
I'm glad he's opened up on this, by the way, because it's evident to everybody else, right? Yeah. And I think he maybe, he maybe thought maybe this is the miscalculation by Matt Rule. Maybe there's a couple so far as we take stock of the first 2 weeks. One was maybe the quarterback, although I don't think that's set in stone deal yet. We might not see him this week, but I still think, over time, he's going to cut down on the turnovers. Will it ever be where they want it to be? I'm not sure. They have to figure out a plan to get there. And the other one was he underestimated this, I think. He underestimated how ingrained into the program, and maybe even into the fan base that this is right now, and how detrimental it would be to people watching Nebraska football, and even people playing in the program who are strapping it up on Saturdays or Thursdays. And to have the fresh start, to have the new coach come in and say, man, this is going to be different. And we feel like the work is really putting us in a position to get there. And then it all still ends up the same anyway, right? Because a loss is still a loss, and you lose by shooting your own foot off, and that's a many people commented over the first week. It was the same old crap. It's the same old crap. It's the same old crap. But what he's talking about is the mental side of it. So I think he maybe underestimated that part of it a little bit. I think he underestimated how difficult that would be to, for it to go away. At the same time, because I don't know about you, Josh, but like, does he seem, I don't know if he seems defeated by it, but he seems like, yeah, he's opening up about it. Yeah, this is the thing in our program right now.
Yeah,
And-
he definitely seems more sympathetic about it. Whereas
Yes.
after week one, he's like, "Hey, we lost one. Like,
Right.
that happens. It's gonna lose. Why is everyone so sad? We lost one. What's going on here?" And it was explained to him that it's just more of the same, and I think he kind of understood, and it was like, "Oh, okay. So I need to be a little more careful about the way I react." To
Yeah, right. The thing is, they're going to, they're going to continue grinding at it. And keep in mind, it's only been 2 games, so nothing's set in stone yet. And I think if you would have asked Matt Rule before the season, hey, do you think you can, flush out the mentality of this program over the span of an offseason and 2 games into the season, he probably would have said no. So nothing, right? Like I said, nothing's set in stone yet. But it takes some time because you still have the same players, and the fact of the matter is, like, the difficult part of it is a lot of the players that have been around for a long time and have this sort of mindset are either, are leaders on the team, and they are people who produce on the team. And they might not, you can't just label them one way or the other, like, oh, they have this mindset, so you have to get them out of here. Well, number one, they're productive players, so you can't, like, they're making plays for you. But in situations where it gets a little bit, tighter, all of a sudden Nebraska, continues to tighten up. That doesn't go away overnight. So I think maybe there was I don't know if there was a miscalculation on that part. And once again, I think if you were to ask Matt Rule, like, that's what this season is about. What did he say at media days? And he said multiple times throughout the month of August, like, hey, this season is about getting the respect back. It's about eventually building that respect back. It's not about having it right away. It's about building it back. And what did we say the translation of that was, Josh? It is to eventually become a team that teams know that you're going to have to play and beat, not that they're going to crumble and beat themselves at the end. Nebraska's not there yet. Shocker, this is not a finished product. But this is something that Nebraska is working through right now. And does it go differently if they have a couple, lighter opponents out of the gate? Maybe, but those problems are still there because they're going to be in a whole bunch of close games. The great news is they're going to have a whole bunch of these throughout the season where they get to put this to the test over and over and over again. And I think eventually what you hope is that the dam breaks, in the other direction this time, instead of the dam breaking in seemingly one direction constantly over the last couple of years. Some thoughts from you guys. Doc on the text line says this.
What's up, Doc?
The current head coach at Nebraska is Mike Riley 2.0. He's lost more games than he's won, so losing doesn't affect him.
All right. That's a take.
Seems awfully matter of fact. They have lost a lot of games traditionally in year ones. What happens after that usually gets a lot better, right?
Hopefully. If he'd just been able to play Akron in week 1.
It usually gets a lot better after week 1 or in the back end, or year 1, or in the back end of year 1. And I mean, to the point about losing doesn't affect him. That's just definitely not fair. Like, that's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. He's saying he's trying to tell his team, look, I'm going to be the same guy every single day. In the past, I know how it's gone around here when we faced adversity. We got panicky. Things changed. We bailed out of plans too quickly. And, the reaction to facing adversity had not been good. And Nebraska's reaction to facing adversity this time around with this new coach is, we're not going to change who we are. We're not going to change anything about us. We have a plan. It works. We're going to continue to implement that plan. We just have to get better at nailing the plan, at executing the plan. And that's one thing you could take away from this thing. They're not going, they're not going anywhere. They're not going to change anything right now. Might it hurt more? As Matt Rule said the other day on Monday, it's painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. Right? He's trying to level with you guys. So, yeah. Once again, 2 games. A couple thoughts on Deion here from the text line and from Twitter. From the 712. By the way, Deion's still on First Take. Deion comes to Nebraska and successful, just like with Colorado. He would just leave for the next best job, whether it's the NFL or a more attractive Power 5. Nebraska and Colorado will not have prime for long. They're looking for a long-term fit again. I guess the rebuttal to that is, like, if he gets it going at Colorado, and they have, which it seems like he has, who knows how the season goes. If he gets it going at Colorado, then they're in a much better position than they were in the first place. He gets the opportunity to walk in there and clean out his roster. We said this all along. It was a about as good of a fit as a Power 5 program that you can get. You get a fan base that is dormant, right? They don't even exist. They have no problem handing it over to Deion Sanders in terms of the brand of the university, the face of the university, and the face of the football program, and all of this stuff. They have no problem handing it over to Deion Sanders. I think it's a little different than it is here. Like, somebody emailed in before and they were like, well, we're just, Nebraska fans are starving for wins. It doesn't matter how they come anymore. Yeah, but it's not just all about wins and losses. It's about the brand of your entire university and all this stuff like that. So there's a bunch of reasons why maybe that wouldn't have been the right fit. Amazing Daniel writes in on Twitter.
Hello, Daniel.
He says a major issue with cleaning house here would have been a quarterback. Deion had a built-in quarterback that he was bringing with him, kind of like Frost had at UCF. People overlook that little detail, not saying he couldn't have found a quarterback, just saying he didn't have to do that. Well, I mean, if Deion came here, wouldn't he have brought Shedeur here?
Yeah, but if Rule cleaned house,
I got
in
you.
that fashion.
I got you. Right. Yeah. I mean, that, and what are we talking about? That is a major factor in this conversation right now, and that's part of the reason why Nebraska is in the position that they're in. So I don't know. There's been a whole bunch of revisionist history on this. I will continue to go back to my bottom line, which is, man, just you got to stay the course right now. Like, Nebraska's implemented all this stuff, and they're going to work through some stuff. And I want to see it when it does come to fruition, just like I wanted to see it when Scott Frost come to fruition. I thought that was the key reason, and the biggest reason why people were really hesitant on being overly critical of Scott Frost early, because he hadn't fully implemented what he was trying to do. And ultimately, I don't think they ever came to a concrete decision on who they wanted to be. And that was the problem. And if that will not be the case here, because they already know, and they're already putting it into action right away. So I want to see this thing, and I want to see what it becomes. You gotta let it play out just a little bit. And I'm not saying that everybody wants to fire him or whatever, because I've got a lot of pushback on that one this week. Like, oh, you guys want to fire Matt Rule? I don't know that anybody actually does, but I get it. People are impatient. I certainly understand. One more phone call before we take a quick break here. We got John on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Hey, John.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
I think the Nebraska brand, I don't think fans are too concerned about that. At the end of the day, we just want to win. It's about winning and losing. And the thing that's tough for Rule right now, I know it's only 2 games in, but Deion's 2-0 with the win over Nebraska. And so just win. That's the end of the day. And, it's been 20 years, and it's unbelievable when you look and see that Nebraska is 14 games on below 500 at home. I mean, that's unthinkable. And so just win. That's what's going to happen with Rule. I mean, you say, what if Deion were in Nebraska? Well, if Deion came to Nebraska with his brand and won games, people wouldn't be too concerned about that. They'd say, hey, we're winning. And that's what Rule has to do. He just has to win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, win, and the brand will take care of itself.
Well, okay. Thank you, John. Appreciate the call. Well, what if I told you that this is his way of winning? And I know the obvious retort is, well, Hap, he's losing. he's 0-2. He's actually not winning. And I'm telling you, this is It's not a part of the plan to go 0-2. It's never part of, you want to win every single game that you play. But this is how it's worked with him. And as he said on Monday, this is what you get when you hire me. It's hard. And it takes a minute to get there. This is his way of winning. It just so happens that it doesn't happen right away. And then what's happened at Colorado plays a major, major part in fans, I think, restlessness in this category. And they want to win independently of what Colorado's doing. But now they see there's an example on the west side of the, on the western border of the state that's doing it, and they're doing it right away. And that's where people are like, man, come on. This can be done. This is possible. And I would say take that sentence and just put a little patience in it. And it's still the case. All right. We got Mike on the YouTube. Haha, losing is winning. I knew somebody would do it. This is his way. This is his way. And you just have to put your faith in it and hope that it pays dividends in at the end of the season or next year and 2 years. By the way, I not to spoil the pick too much here. Nebraska's going to win tomorrow, and they're going to win next Saturday, and then everything will sort of calm down a little bit, at least theoretically. And then we'll see what happens against Michigan. All right, we got a whole bunch of stuff that we can get to coming back on the other side. Thoughts from you guys. Munson will join us here in about 10 minutes. We'll still have your chance to win Dave Chappelle tickets throughout the show as well, so stay tuned. Plenty coming at you on a Football Friday here on 1620 The Zone. First, the NFL season is here. Now's the time to get in on incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use, and you can bet on anything, point spreads, player props, in between. Enjoy your long football weekend with football everywhere, and you can enjoy it even more so with the FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel.com/Happer. Kick off the NFL season with an offer that you don't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable. Bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. NFL Sunday ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan. Required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
We created a simple PDF that gives you everything you need to know about branding, designing, and building a website that increases revenue. Download the website playbook for free at jmonline.com. If you're considering a website project but not sure who to hire, go to jmonline.com and download the free website playbook. It's a guide to a high-performing website. That's jmonline.com.
It's obvious. We're being let down by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media are distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the real concerns of American families. Countries we're at odds with are hoarding food, financial systems are strained, and supply chains remain too fragile. We can tell something is coming, so we're preparing. Folks are getting into self-reliance and investing in emergency food storage. And My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, makes it easy for you to have peace of mind knowing you're prepared. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least 1 food kit for each family member. And while you're there, stock up on water filtration, heirloom seeds, and emergency gear, too, at mypatriotsupply.com. It's time to prepare today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ALL to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 42424. That's ALL to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Attention sales professionals. NRG Media is looking for an accomplished business-to-business salesperson who wants to take their success and skills to a new level. Is this you? Our account executives work with local businesses to create marketing plans to help them get more customers. On air, digital, on-site, audio, video, it's all part of what you can sell. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Get more info and apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Suicide can be prevented by knowing the warning signs, and most importantly, knowing what to do if you recognize those signs in yourself, a loved one, or even a stranger. There are simple ways you can be there for someone, so they can be here for more tomorrows. Visit moretomorrowsne.org to learn the signs, how to approach the conversation, and where to get help. Or call 988 for help now. That's moretomorrowsne.org.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. I got another email from Ray, who suggested that we bring back Dale Earnhardt to play quarterback, the ghost of Dale Earnhardt to play quarterback. He has another one on how to cut down turnovers. It's no secret that our turnover margin is terrible, but fear not, Husker bros. I have the answer. Bop it. Get Jeff Sims a bop it and lock him in a room for 48 hours. And don't let him out until he can, in fact, bop it, twist it, and pull it without dropping it. Once we go to the playoffs with Sims' newfound skills, he could also get an NIL deal with Hasbro. Everybody wins. Bop it, Ray. There's also an accompanying picture with Jeff Sims holding a bop it in the pocket.
Tweeted that photo to us.
He has.
Thank you, Ray.
What do you think about that idea, Josh? So Jeff Sims is probably going to be on the old shelf this week.
Yeah.
So just
I'm open to any ideas.
Stick him with a bop it and see what happens there.
No bad ideas at this point. Let's get him. You got to keep that dexterity in the hands.
I feel bad for Jeff Sims.
I do too.
He walked into this thing and everything's great for several months and then it hits the fan almost immediately. This is the life of a Nebraska quarterback. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you have to handle it well. I don't know that he has. I don't. it feels he seems like a guy who, maybe has felt that pressure a little bit. So
I don't know if I've heard him talk much, I guess.
Right.
Now that I think about it.
and now, it's not the worst thing in the world that he has to sit and kind of watch this week. But make no mistake about it. He's going to be Nebraska's quarterback, or he's going to get a long leash and a great opportunity to be Nebraska's quarterback.
Just need a big exhale this weekend.
Back to the phones. Before we get to Munson here, let's go to Brian. Wow, we're going to have 3 Brians straight on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Hey, Brian.
Hello, how are you?
Great. You?
Oh, not too bad. Yeah, I'm listening to you here talk about Rule and Sims. Here's my take on a couple of these things here. First off, Rule totally nailed the D coordinator hire. The O coordinator hire, I'll give that one an F.
An F?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely. This quarterback, he's a quarterback coach. You got to push this kid, put this kid in position to win, and he's not doing that. I mean, the dude or Jeff Sims is not comfortable at all back there. I mean, you can see it.
No, he's not.
You're in headlights. So, and then just to keep going on my point, a couple things here. Rule's quote about "This is what you get when you hire me." Well, that may be at Temple and Baylor, but this is Nebraska. No, I don't. That quote doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, well, I imagine it doesn't with me.
I mean, I just didn't like. He could have said it differently. I guess. And then the last thing is, what did Satterfield mean when he said? I'm trying to think what he said. It'll get better. You know the quote where he said, "It sucks for now, but it's going to get better, and when it does, it'll be great."
Yeah.
Okay.
He said something to that effect the other day. Yeah.
I didn't like. He doesn't know that. I mean, don't be me full of shit, dude. You. I mean, come on. Sorry, I didn't mean to drop that. But anyway, that's really all I had.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate the call. I think luckily, I don't know, he might have said something, but I think it dumped out. All right, I think his phone kind of dumped out at the exact perfect time. I didn't hear any bad word.
I didn't hear it.
Okay.
One either.
Okay. All right. Check us on that one on on YouTube or whatever it might be. So Satterfield can help Jeff Sims for sure. And the thing that's funny about this is that, none of this is going to happen, I don't think, this weekend, because I don't think Sims is going to play. But yeah, there's no doubt. But here's the thing that I keep coming back to. You got to be able to trust your quarterback, whoever the starter is, to be able to handle a shotgun snap. Like you got to be able to execute the simple stuff. They got to do the simple stuff first. And I really think that'll even out. I just think it will. So to Brian's thing of like, it's going to get better. I'm actually with Marcus Satterfield on that one. It is going to get better. But I like the question of how could he know that? How could he know?
That's a fair point. How could he know? Like, yeah, he can't see the future. But also, yes, I expect a base level of being able to handle the snap. You make a terrible read and throw an interception. I don't love it, but okay. Like that happens in football.
Yep. Catch a snap. Right. All right. Let's take a break.
I think we've earned it.
I think we stayed clear on the bad words.
It sounds like
okay. That's good. That's good.
If not, we apologize.
So was Brian enjoying himself a little early Friday?
I envision him working overnight shift.
Okay.
And this is his 5 o'clock.
Gotcha.
Like right now.
Could be. Could be.
A lot of people are asking that question.
Bryan Munson is going to join us next. Not drunk. Not. We got some recruiting questions because it is a recruiting weekend. That's right. It's a home game. Nebraska's got a couple targets, big targets coming in. Some local ones as well. They'll be making appearances and showing their big lanyards on the sideline and getting their pictures taken. It's another Saturday home game in Nebraska football. Munson joins next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
If you've got heart, come on out to Werner Park. We're gonna make some memories for the Chasers family.
Don't miss all the excitement of an Omaha Storm Chasers game at Warner Park. Time is running out to experience all the fun when your Storm Chasers take the field. With something for everyone and groups of all sizes, you'll want to get your tickets now. For the schedule and more information, head to omahastormchasers.com.
Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm, we're family.
All right, team. Apps on the table by 7:30 sharp.
Jalen and his catering company have a lot on their plate.
Really particular.
He needs a bigger team to continue climbing up the food chain.
About this event. Hey, Mitch, was that contract for 200 or 250 people?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Hope that you enjoyed a great Sunday of Week 1 action in the NFL. Was there an out-of-market game that you missed and didn't get a chance to watch? Well, how about this? All customers, if you bet $5, you'll get $100 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. And new customers, if you bet $5, you can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. John, all they have to do is go to FanDuel.com/1620 today.
21 plus and present in Iowa. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use extended. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Time out!
Bryan Munson.
Hey, long call. Comfy left zoom buster. 63 bang. Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger Y Wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show. On 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome back, Connor Happer Show. Connor Happer and Coach Josh Odson calling out some plays, giving out some signals with his Iowa Western coach hat on. Nice, sharp look.
Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play.
People know where to find you on the sideline when you're signaling out plays.
I ain't hard to find.
Exactly. The white hat makes that very, very clear. We're joined now by Bryan Munson on the 42 Degrees Source Hotline. Munson, hello. Happy Friday. How are you?
Good. You know what I was thinking about is that play call was running through the intro here for me to come on the show here with you. I bet that is the play call that the Eagles use at the goal line when Jalen Hurts has to call that tight little formation and then kind of get up on him and push him in. I bet that's the play call for it.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's a whole bunch of words and it just means go forward.
Get right behind me and push me.
I bet you would have liked to see a little bit more of that on Monday.
Oh, do we have to go back and
okay?
that?
No. I just want to check in. I just want to check your temperature because, like, how are we feeling about young Josh Allen at this point?
I'm somewhere between he can return to the days of old to please don't tell me he has become Jeff George. I mean, it's pretty dramatic differences, right?
It is.
Jeff George loved to cannon up and throw that ball 70 yards in the air only to end up in the hands of the other team. And man, that was a lot like Josh Allen on Monday night. And I'm not a Ken Dorsey fan. I think my social media would support that idea. I think that people want to maybe draw some attention away from that and say it's not a Dorsey problem. I tell you what, I think Bills fans are really, really figuring out that Brian Daboll was such a great OC and such a great coach in general that maybe it's not a Ken Dorsey thing. Maybe the gap between Daboll and anybody else is just going to be that significant. So I don't know, man. I'm feeling like the Jets defense is really good.
Yes, that helps.
And yeah, I think that helps a lot. And I think that the Bills left some points on the field. I think that it's going to be interesting to get Las Vegas because I think Las Vegas has improved. So that's a game on Sunday that's really got my attention. Plus, my brother is a huge Raiders fan, and if they beat us, seriously, dude, I'm going to go outside and just bury my head in the sand.
Yeah, just hide away for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. That's why I think a Nebraska win is necessary tomorrow. I know UNK's got a tough game tomorrow too, and hopefully my Bills can pull it off Sunday.
Winning fixes a lot, Brian. And so yeah, it would certainly calm the waters at least a little bit. And if
the ability to show my face in public.
Yes, there's a lot hanging on this one. So let's go to tomorrow. So we've touched on this, and I think you even mentioned it in your Tunnel Talk part this week. Like, there's just not a whole lot of like recruiting items that are kind of changing all that rapidly right now. But Nebraska does have a home game, and they're bringing in visitors for this weekend, and it's highlighted by a couple. What have we been able to, or what are we looking forward to this weekend in terms of visitors to Nebraska for the Northern Illinois game?
Yeah, let me tell you what I know, and let me tell you what I think I know. So what I know is this: one of the top remaining targets on Nebraska's 2024 board will be in Lincoln this weekend. Number one offensive tackle Brandon Baker from Santa Ana, California, made it Mater Dei High School. Will be there for the third time. He's visiting Lincoln. Nebraska made his Final Five. And I don't know if people really, I know people are sick of moral victories. And in fact, that was one of the conversation pieces on a group message I had with a bunch of my high school buddies last Sunday. As I was trying to tell them, it's not all doom and gloom because of the loss, and think about these scenarios and whatever. The moral victories are certainly, tap dancing on everybody, every Nebraska fan's last thread. They're just, it's tough to keep kind of feeling good about the bad. But here with Brandon Baker, and I mentioned this in Tunnel Talk, like you had referenced, number one OTs, number one players at their position, number one players in the country, they don't have to consider previous 4-win teams. And that's not what drew him to Nebraska. What drew him to Nebraska was Matt Rule. And he loves the Nebraska staff. And that's from me talking to him in the hallway, in the offices in Lincoln, going into the Husker Online office. That's he and I in a private conversation. He really loves the coaches at Nebraska. And, it's not a thing here to kind of, drive up NIL or secure the best deal he can possible. Nebraska literally to him has been an interesting possible place that he wasn't even considering it being on his radar at all in the first place. So I think that Nebraska is running fourth, if not fifth on this list. So let me just go ahead and set like the true context of the scenario. He plans to commit in the next week or so. Nebraska basically has the last opportunity to kind of persuade him from what it looks like will end up with him committing to Texas. But what I would also said in my Tunnel Talk is at any moment, I feel like Oregon can pick up the phone to him and get him to kind of reconsider if that's what he does, because there's so many ties back to Oregon. And if it came out of Nebraska, he would potentially be able to do the same thing. But Nebraska is going to find out very, very quickly where they are nationally in terms of like what they can do NIL wise.
Yeah.
Sean gave some really, really, really interesting factoid stuff for like what the price range is for 5-star guys to 4-star guys to 3-star guys, and what Baker might be kind of looking at. Those are uncomfortable numbers, bro. I mean, I don't even know kind of what to say or think about most of that stuff. And there's a lot of people that have go-betweens, and people are talking about, setting up residency in other states just because of the money they have coming in and not to avoid taxes. And woo, that is, those are,
it was pretty eye-opening for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are the type of things I think when college football guys are declaring, for the NFL, or they're getting ready to go into the draft and they sign an agent, the agent always kind of sets them up out of Florida or someplace where they don't have an income state tax, right? That's what we're talking about now with high school athletes. And it's just like, holy cow, like that's really where we're at. So, but yeah, I think Nebraska's got a shot. I'm not sure how good of a shot. And I think it's just one of those, again, little moral victory pat on the back. And I think that Matt Rule and his staff should feel great about this, because in 2 years and 3 years, if they've got a few more wins under their belt, and they've got the same kind of things going on for them in Lincoln, and they've got kind of a more polished process, and, you're not coming off this thrashing in Boulder, who knows? Who knows what you could potentially do, if you got the number one offensive tackle to visit you in 25 or 26.
Yeah, like we can live with that. I think Nebraska fans could live with that. Nebraska can live with that. They understand where the results are right now, especially when you have a 5-star offensive lineman, the best in the country, and and you look at the schools that he's considering, and you realize that Nebraska doesn't match up just in terms of what you have seen in a results category. So I think people could live with that. What they don't want to hear, Munson, is that Nebraska, they couldn't quite get there in the NIL category, and they couldn't quite get, he didn't like the staff quite as much as he liked the other staff or the facilities or whatever it is. So it's still a win for Nebraska to have all of those ducks in a row before the winning starts to get there.
I completely agree with you. I mean, I think I said it in 3-2 and 3 and out, and I tried to do it with the song played in my head. When you look at Baker's Final Five, and you see Nebraska's made it opposite Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, and Florida State, it's like the song from Sesame Street. Which of these things is not like the other? And literally, because I mean, Florida State, they're that's a pretty good team this year. You know, they really kind of turned things down around.
Might make the
Tallahassee.
playoff.
And, yeah, I mean, they look pretty darn good. But yeah, Nebraska clearly doesn't belong on that list in terms of anything they're doing on the football field. But if it means that they're doing things right away from it and the field can catch up with that, man, that's promising.
Okay, what else? I mean, obviously that'll be the big sort of target this weekend.
That's a big one. Then there's going to be a bunch of the commitments from the 2024 class. You get Tyson Terry and Vandermoss will be there, you know, as well from Omaha. You're going to get Alex Mansky to come back though, and this is maybe the other guy that people need to kind of put a big circle around. If you don't know who this guy is, underline his name twice. He is the number one quarterback on Nebraska's list, you know, for the 2025 class. And it's such an interesting story because, you know, Stone Saunders, who was the number one guy from Pennsylvania, had just visited, you know, a week or so before Mansky picked up his offer. And something was changing. Something was turning. And if I'm hearing this correctly and I'm understanding things correctly, it sounds like Kentucky might have made a coaching staff change that put a person onto the coaching staff there at Kentucky that actually was friends with the Saunders family. And it changed the dynamic around that entirely very, very quickly. And then Mansky comes in June and has a great camp, comes back like literally like a week later for like a first visit, comes back again in July for the end of the summer barbecue. And now he's back in Lincoln again for the first home game. And it's significant because number one, Iowa State hadn't even offered him until like a week or two ago. And Iowa State loves offering kids from Nebraska before Nebraska offers.
That's true.
There's a couple of them right now with Newberry and Keith right now in the 25 class, right? And they did it with Carter Nelson. I think they did it with even like Hausman as well, Columbus. They seem to try to get in there and cause, you know, and Bramer, obviously, you forgot about him. Yep. So they do this on the regular, and they didn't do it with Mansky, which is really kind of odd. But Mansky's having a heck of a sophomore year, and Nebraska should be trying to get him on campus as many times as possible. He will be making a decision after his sophomore year is over, so sometime in that November, December kind of timeline. So hopefully Nebraska can get him back multiple times. And then one last thing, those are the things that I know. Here's the thing that I think I know. I would expect somewhere between 50 to 70 recruits to be there this weekend. I think most of them regional. Obviously you only know about the one official visitor, and the visiting weekends are going to be very different now that you've got 24 or so guys in the class. You know, there's going to be very few official visitors, so it's not like schools are going to be like coming out on Sunday. They're going to be Saturday nights. They're going to be Sunday mornings, you know, kind of thing. So maybe change everybody's kind of, if you're into the recruiting news as soon as it happens, be looking around, you know, more on Saturday night now and Saturday afternoons versus the Sunday mornings after guys take off, because everything's kind of changed around the way that the timelines have changed.
Okay, interesting. I just have a question about then how it sort of works. So official visit versus unofficial visit. What is different about, obviously, you know, they can pay for it and there's the money piece of it, but like, what is different about Brandon Baker's visit aside from the fact that he's Brandon Baker compared to everybody else?
So his visit is going to be bought and paid for by the university. It's one of now an unlimited number that he used to, you know, that he can go ahead and take as long as the school would agree to bring him in. It used to be that there was a cap at 5. Then they capped it up until July 1st, and then they went ahead and did away with the cap. So now Brandon's coming in for his official visit. He can stay in the town, I think, for 2 or 2.5 days. So it kind of allows him to travel in and then travel out. And sometimes the schools kind of get around with that. Like they can sometimes fly him in on Thursday and then sometimes then bring him in around, you know, the team and stuff at noon the following day. And then they get like that half day on Friday, but you're already there. It's not like traveling in. And then you get your all day Saturday, and then you get your morning on Sunday till when you have to get back on your flight and go back out. So then it's kind of they pay for the meals, they pay for the lodging, they pay for the travel, they get you on a different itinerary. The unofficial visits, are still officially sent out by the school inviting them. You get put on a list. You then RSVP. There's a certain number of tickets that you can get. The way that Nebraska did work, you would show up to a gate. They would be waiting for you. You'd go in and tell them who you are. You get your tickets. You get your little lanyard. You go on the back. You get maybe a meeting or something like that with the coaches like ahead of time. And it's kind of hit or miss. And I'm not sure how Rule is going to do it, but you're going to get a little bit of a talking to and just understand how things are going to kind of work. You look around. And then sometimes after the end of the game, you can kind of come back in the locker room and enjoy the team after a victory, like me and my son did when they beat Illinois back in 2019, which was awesome. And then you basically kind of go your own way and go back home. But there's other than the tickets, there's nothing else that you get in terms of a benefit from the university. Otherwise, you pay for everything.
Gotcha. So Brandon Baker will be the king this weekend.
He will be red carpet rolled out for Baker.
Yep. And I don't think anybody has a problem with that. Nebraska is going to shoot their best shot and see how it ends up. Okay. Well, it's a night game. It's the start of the season, so that makes sense that there will be a whole bunch around, and then you'll have a game next weekend. But you said it, Munson. Like, there won't be a whole lot of official visitors in the sense that we're used to it being over the last several years. Like, you're bringing in these mostly because they have their class all fixed up already. So you're looking ahead to 25 and beyond. All right.
I'm telling you, there may only be like a handful of guys that you and I are talking about official visitors coming into Lincoln after this. I mean, there's 2 guys in the class that haven't taken their visit. So consider that. But after that, maybe 2 or 3,
Okay. One more. Grant Bricks. Give me the Grant Bricks update. What do we know?
Oh man, I tell you what, my little timeline that I had put together based on my last conversation with him is running out very, very quickly. I think I bought my time out through the end of next week. I don't even know if it's going to happen then. And then obviously there was a new offer to a 2024 offensive tackle yesterday that is also mentioned in Tunnel Talk this morning. So you don't know whether Nebraska has diagnosed their issue that they need more offensive linemen in the class, or is that directly related to potentially, Bricks hanging out so long that they can't miss on him? There's so many questions I have about that offer, but nothing new on Bricks. He told me that maybe he would have a decision sometime, a week or 2 after Labor Day. And here we are. So, I have nothing else new to add, except I put in a prediction with like a Ask the Expert with On3. I have no reason to flip my prediction that I gave back at the end of June. I still feel good for Nebraska. He's just taking his time getting there.
Yeah. He's on his own timeline, which is all right. All right, Munson, I'll let you go. Enjoy your weekend, man. Enjoy the football. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. See you.
Bryan Munson of HuskerOnline.com. Got recruits on their own timeline. And the great thing about having that in this situation, like, Nebraska's not necessarily waiting for a commitment from him to sort of move on. Like, their class is full, right? Their class is basically full. So it's not like they're sitting around as like, okay, we have to have this piece fall into place before we move on to anything else. At this point, they have all these other pieces that are sitting around, and they are going to be either in the class, whether they decide to, or out of the class if they decide to go elsewhere. And it doesn't necessarily affect the rest of Nebraska's organization in operation for the 2024 class. Okay, we'll come back. Bryan Christopherson, let's talk this weekend on the football field. His thoughts on what Matt Rule had to say yesterday. We'll get his starting quarterback temperature. We'll razz him about the Vikings a little bit. Yeah, that's right. Tis the season, Josh, where I get to make fun of all of our guests for the failures of their favorite NFL teams without any repercussion, because I don't have a favorite NFL team. It's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's blowback proof.
Yep, exactly. So we'll continue that season with Bryan Christopherson next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Last 20 games as a road dog, Nebraska is 3-17 overall, with the wins coming last year in Iowa City and then in 2017 and 2020 in West Lafayette. In those last 20 games as a road dog, Nebraska is 14-6 against the spread.
Oh, and they've covered in 8 of the last 9.
And they've covered in 8 of the last 9.
Interesting.
Unsportsmanlike conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Knoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A few showers moving through the metro area today, most likely moving out by the evening hours. We're going to hit a high of around 76 degrees. Partly cloudy overnight. Tomorrow morning, if you're in western Iowa, a brief chance of a shower, although most of us will be dry, and hit a high in the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Say goodbye to summer and hello to cash loans. Let's face it, your personal banker probably won't loan you thousands of dollars today, but Saul's Jewelry and Loan will. Simply bring in your boat, camper, RV, jet ski, ATV, motorcycle, even your beautiful convertible, along with a clear title, and Saul's will loan you up to $50,000. No credit check, no hassle, and more importantly, no worries. Saul's indoor storage facility is so clean and secure, you can store your precious Harley-Davidson for the winter and pick it up next spring. So if you need a quick cash loan, Saul's is here to help.
Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Hi, this is Kathy Knoyer with Knoyer Garden Center. The beauty of fall is in our greenhouses, featuring a variety of Knoyer-grown fall product that will allow you to create a gorgeous fall container or arrangement. Come in and talk with our family of employees who will help you find what you're looking for. Whether it's home decor, fall annuals, perennials, or shrubs, we will help you beautify your home. Knoyer Garden Center is located between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion.
At Knoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Open daily, 10 to 6.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton men's and women's soccer continue their season with another doubleheader Friday night. Women's soccer will conclude their non-conference schedule against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits on Friday night at 5 o'clock, followed by men's soccer opening up Big East Conference play versus Marquette at 7:30. Tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
All right, team. Apps on the table by 7:30 sharp.
Jalen and his catering company have a lot on their plate.
Really particular.
He needs a bigger team to continue climbing up the food chain.
Throughout this event. Hey, Mitch, was that a contract for 200 or 250 people?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization.
Flag football for ages 8 to 14 runs through October 20th, and PACE needs sponsors to help pay for refs, jerseys, and other equipment. Go to paceomaha.org to help. And thank you for your support from PACE.
Please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction, presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Chase Senate Contracting, Tinman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction with the Keg and 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Hope that you enjoyed a great Sunday of Week 1 action in the NFL. Was there an out-of-market game that you missed and didn't get a chance to watch? Well, how about this? All customers, if you bet $5, you'll get $100 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. And new customers, if you bet $5, you can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. John, all they have to do is go to FanDuel.com/1620 today.
21 plus and present in Iowa. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use extended. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Hey, Brian. Bryan Christopherson.
I gotta take this a tap.
Be right, be Rooney. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Bryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I'm not sure what Jeff's status will be for the game. He's progressing, so as you guys know, Thursday for us is a walkthrough day. Friday will be a full practice day. So I know he feels like he's getting better. He's moving around and stuff. So we'll see how he does tomorrow.
We'll see, says Matt Rule, but we all get to find out together when the injury report gets released, or if Jeff Sims doesn't come out for mega early pregame warmups as well tomorrow at Memorial Stadium. Bryan Christopherson joins us now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. He with the new open, Bryan Christopherson. Good morning, BC. Oh, sorry. We didn't change you over yet. Hey, Bryan, sorry, we didn't hear that part. How are you?
I am good. Yeah, I heard that fresh drop from last week. That's nice.
Yeah, we had to slide that one in there because, we like when people mention my name. That's really what that's all about.
It's all about you. That's what it's all. Yep.
Exactly. So it's great to talk to you while you're in Lincoln and you're not gallivanting around the Midwest, and you'll be here for the next couple of weeks.
My wife's actually driving to Omaha right now as we speak, so I hope it's a good signal. But yeah, I am closer to home. I'm actually coming toward you as I talk. So if you want to get together later and play golf or something, let me know.
Yeah, well, I do. But I do have to. Maybe you can come out to the Storm Chasers game tonight, because that's where I will be this evening. If
All right. We'll work that out off the air. But get to your Vikings ribbing if you want.
Yeah, I was going to. So just thoughts from last night. Hey, by the way, I thought the Vikings were, I actually picked the Vikings to win the NFC North, and now I mean, you played the Eagles last night, so it's not the easiest thing in the world, but can't feel very good right now. 0-2.
No, I don't feel as bad about last night's loss as the one to the Bucks, but
right.
Is there a worse feeling in sports than when you realize immediately that your guy fumbled it through the end zone on a touchback? It's got to be in the top 3 worst things. I knew immediately Justin Jefferson had lost the ball at the half-yard line.
Yep.
And it's just you're that close.
Because it always takes him a second to make that call, and you're like, oh yeah, he fumbled through the end zone. This is going to be a touchback for them.
Yeah. And then when you're watching replays back of your guys, which I've had a lot of practice at this year, to see if they actually fumbled or not, and you're kind of hoping the knees down, but it's a foot off the ground, and it's just sort of all right, just punch me in the jewels some more, So, yeah, it's been the football I've watched so far this year, college and pro, has featured a lot of messy stuff, and we'll see if we can get that fixed going forward.
That was me. We have that every once in a while. I'm sure all Nebraska fans had the same thing when it was a 4th down play against Minnesota when they took the lead, And, you're like, his foot was down, right? His foot was out of bounds, right? It had to have been, right? And then here comes the replay, and you have to see it a couple times. You're like, no, it was not. That's a touchdown. And you're just like, man, what am I supposed to do? It's a helpless feeling, Brian.
Yeah, usually the person's trying. I think most people are trying to talk themselves into like that it happened their way for like one or two replays, but by the second one, it's like, okay, I'll give in here.
Yep.
So yeah, that was the case with that Minnesota play for sure.
Do we think that Jeff Sims plays tomorrow?
I don't. I mean, I'm not saying that definitively, but he hadn't really practiced it didn't seem like as of yesterday when Rule spoke. And, one of his quotes, if people really read the one about he said how Sims' focus has to be just getting healthy right now and how tough it is to play that position, like if you have a lower leg injury. And I think as he was kind of speaking that, it should have maybe hit with a lot of people that it's seeming unlikely that he's going to play. Things can change in the last 48 hours sometimes. I do get it. I'm not saying the game's going to go the same way, but it gives me a little vibes of that Troy game in 2018, a year one of Frost, because it's the deal where you got if it does happen this way, you got a pretty inexperienced quarterback stepping in against a team that is one of those sort of giant killers or fashions himself as that. And so there will be some nervous energy, I'm sure, in the stadium around that situation. But let's face it, there was going to be anyway with how much turnovers have been happening with the top guy. So I don't know. Honestly, given what's happened the first 2 weeks, I think there's probably some in the fan base who are like, well, let's see how it goes with someone else. Let's see if they can take care of the football a little bit better. That's probably just the reality of it right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing for him and sort of where he's for Sims and where he's at mentally, and maybe for the fan base too. With that being said, if Nebraska wins and it looks cleaner tomorrow, then there's a conversation to be had after that. I know we talked about this last week coming off of the Minnesota game, and it hadn't sort of happened like this yet going into Colorado, but the operation piece of it seemed to be even a little messier, I suppose, at Colorado. There's late snaps or early snaps and snaps that hit the guy in motion and fumbled snaps and just sort of you have the quarterback who, we look at the quarterback and he drops the snap, but there's a lot more that goes into it, as Matt Rule and Marcus Satterfield have mentioned this week. Would you expect that the operation part of it, the stuff around the quarterback, gets cleaner this week when you're playing at home and maybe against some lesser competition?
Yeah, I think so. A large part of that, I think, last week was the silent cadence stuff they were going on. And, Sims just flat dropped a couple of them. So, I mean, it's as simple as that. Now, I will say in his defense, one, he flat dropped. The other one didn't get to him because it hit a tight end in motion. And another one that he dropped, I thought came really close to Billy Kemp.
I think it might have nicked him. I think it might have nicked him, yeah.
Yeah, so I know Sims has been charged with just dropping it left and right. I think one of them was just a legitimate, it was the first one was really bad.
And that was the one he tried to pick up with one hand, right?
Yeah, they took him opportunity. And then I think the other ones, one you would wish he would have caught it, obviously, but I do think it did have to do with timing and all that. So when the coaches are saying it's a we thing and not just a he thing, I don't think it's just completely although I respect the idea of defending your teammate or your player, I think there's truth to it. Like they've got to clean it up with communication and their timing and all that stuff. And you would hope that when you're operating in your own backyard, the crowd noise wouldn't be such that it would be that much of a hindrance. But it's something to watch tomorrow because you got a guy who's played, if it is Harburg, you've got someone who's played basically a dozen snaps at the position. So, there's a lot that goes with that too.
Do we know what Heinrich Harburg does well? Like, I guess I was going to ask you, like, what do you think it looks like with him compared to Sims? But there's just so much unknown with Heinrich going into this game if he indeed does take the reins.
no idea what to expect in the passing game. And whatever you want to say about Sims, let's not lose from our memory that, 4 or 5 months ago we watched that spring game and there was a clear gap in the passing game between him and all the other quarterbacks. And so, yeah, there's been time for Harburg to develop in that, but I'm not going into tomorrow expecting that to be his forte. It doesn't mean he can't make some throws or he's not going to need to. The thing I do expect from him, and I'm pretty confident about, is he's a gifted runner. He's a great athlete. He's been that since he was a prospect. He's a 6'5" guy who I don't think a lot of defenders, frankly, want to tackle. And he had good track speed when he was at Kearney Catholic too, and he's got all sorts of measurables with that are really good. So I think you're going to see, heavy dose of like, hey, let's line up and let's see if we can mash it on these guys and do some clever things with the run game with Harburg. And I think he has shown through clips we've seen and even maybe a snap or two the other day that he can be pretty good with the option and some of that stuff. So I don't know. I think we might see a little old school Huskers tomorrow, but we'll see on that.
I think so too. Defensively, and Tony White talked about this, and by the way, I thought he was really good on obviously people like hearing from Tony White right now because he's having success, but it's really easy to see why they've had a smooth time sort of teaching the defense and communicating the defense and the way he sort of talks about things. It makes a lot of sense to me. But he talked about sort of the need of going from getting stops to getting takeaways. This is a team in Northern Illinois that's going to put it in harm's way a little bit. We've seen Rocky Lombardi threw 3 picks last week. I guess it feels like, it seems like a lot of pressure. Not that the defense isn't familiar with that. It feels like a week where Nebraska's defense is really hunting for a low number this week and maybe grabbing a couple takeaways on top of it.
Yeah, and that should be. They've nailed it this week in talking about it. They're a good defense, I think, and people are sort of suspecting that's what they're going to be the rest of the year. But do you want to be great? You got to start being that group that does take it away 2 or 3 times in a game, on most weeks, and especially against a team that's coming off a 3 turnover performance last week like Northern Illinois is. Nebraska's ranked 133rd in the FBS of 133, not surprising in turnover margin, but Northern Illinois right now is 116. So this is a ugly stat both sides have to flip. Northern Illinois just had a game against Southern Illinois that I know everybody's like, how do you lose 14-11 in that game? Well, I kind of like Nebraska's Minnesota game. They out-yarded them by about 150 yards, but it was -3 in the turnover category. So, yeah, you've got to go into this on the defensive side of the ball thinking, let's be the side that makes it easier on the new quarterback if he's in there, or these, let's set him up at the 10-yard line, or let's get a pick six, or that kind of play where it's just like, we're going to not only stop you, but we're going to score points as well. So that's a good objective. I think this defense is capable of that with the chaos they cause. I think they've had moments where they've been probably close to a play or two like that. Like on that 3rd and 10 where they beat Tommy Hill, Javen Wright's like a half second away from sort of maybe a strip sack of Shadur Sanders. It's that type of play where you're hoping as these weeks go on, they can kind of make those instead of just missing.
All right, BC. Prediction for tomorrow?
I mean, I'm going to say it's a bit of a slog because we just don't know what to expect from this Husker offense right now. And so I'm not going to go all bold and say it's going to be easy by any means. I have it like 23-15 because I like really strange scores. So that's maybe it's 23-7 and Northern Illinois scores late and gets a 2. That's how I kind of figured that out. So
perfect.
That's the numbers I'll put to it. Because I like oddball stuff, because I am an oddball. I root for teams that do oddball things like the Vikings, and so that's the score.
I support your endeavor of picking weirdo scores. I don't know if I'm gonna be with you this week, but I do like the idea of it. BC, enjoy your weekend, man. Enjoy your time in Omaha, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Bryan Christopherson of Husker 24/7, who is an oddball who roots for oddball teams like the Vikings.
What an existence, right?
Put that one in the open. Yeah, I'm an oddball because I root for oddball teams like the Vikings. I mean, he's not wrong.
No.
The Twins can be oddball from time to time. You know what's odd? The Twins go to the playoffs basically every year and they lose every single time. That's pretty odd.
That's pretty odd. So. No Yankees in the playoffs this year, though.
I know. It's going to be great. No Yankees or Red Sox in the playoffs. It's going to be awesome.
No Mets either, but we're used to that.
Amazing. It's going to be a great playoffs. No Royals, though. Everybody was expecting that, I know, but they fell short this year. Sadly. Just short. All right. Josh will bring you the odd news when we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. NFL betting season. It's not just NFL season. It's NFL betting season. You do so with FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook right now. New customers, newbies, you bet $5 and you get 200 in bonus bets guaranteed. And all customers, not just new customers, who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. Why? Because there's things like the Cowboys and the Jets this weekend. There's Sunday Night Football between the Patriots and the Dolphins. There's so many great opportunities to jump on board this weekend or fade whichever bad team you might think is out there. FanDuel.com/Happer. Kick off the NFL season with an offer that you don't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The cigar enthusiasts at Hearth Cigars and Pipes are a pretty diverse bunch of humans. Some enjoy an adult beverage or two, others pass the time with a competitive yet friendly game of dominoes. Still others enjoy shooting some pool downstairs, while more than a few are just satisfied with each other's company. The common thread with all of them is the awesomeness that is their favorite cigar from the humidor. Hearth Cigars and Pipes, just off the 48th Street exit from I-680 at the corner of Mormon Bridge Road and McKinley, and at hearthcigars.com.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more Da Vinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys. Make the right call.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
It's time to squeeze every last drop out of summer by becoming a member at Croc Center Omaha. We've got a full range of fitness activities to offer, from free weights to Zumba classes to an indoor water park and more. Join now and we'll waive the processing fee. You'll get $50 in Croc Bucks to use toward our programs, and you'll only pay $1 for August and September. New members must not have been a Croc member in the previous 90 days. The Croc Center is just moments away from the Kennedy Freeway and Q Street. Go to omahacroc.org for more information. That's omahakroc.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack.
but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
That is right. It's time for the odd news. Josh has it for you.
Hello.
Josh, when you received a text last night at 11:30 from me that said, "Have you heard of John Pork?" Did you think it would be on the odd news today?
I didn't know if that was a story that was going to make the odd news or transcend the odd news.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be on the odd news, but
Okay.
I wondered if that was the first thing that crossed your mind.
No, it was not.
Okay.
I didn't know, like, okay, I don't know what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Do I look it up?
Did you?
Or do I learn about it on the show? And I only have a vague idea about what it is.
Okay, I don't really know either, and so we may figure that out. We may have some time in the noon hour to sort of sift through that one a little bit. But apparently, there's a thing on social media where John Pork is calling people.
Sure.
And he looks like a man pig.
Man bear pig.
Not man bear pig, just man pig.
Just man pig. The other thing the internet is doing right now is, men, listen up. Your wife, your girlfriend, your partner may soon be asking you how often you think of the Roman Empire.
Oh yeah, I've already got this.
Yeah. Apparently it is a new TikTok trend where women describe discovering their partners and male friends thinking about the Roman Empire more often than you could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently this is a thing men think about all the damn time.
Yeah, so let me just ask you, Josh, how often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Quite literally never.
Yeah. My wife asked me that question because she saw the trend on TikTok, and she said, "Hey, how often do you think about the Roman Empire?" And I said, probably about never.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes us normal or abnormal, but apparently everybody, and maybe it's just a bit, but everybody is answering this question with, like, I don't know, a couple times a week.
Yeah. Apparently lots of men think of the Roman Empire several times a week.
Yeah. Maybe it's a joke.
I don't buy it.
Maybe we're getting pranked.
It is entirely possible.
We're
that
getting
we are,
Ashton Kutchered.
Yes. That guy's had a bad week.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, first of all, he defended Danny Masterson, which bad look. And then
I don't know who that guy is.
That's Hyde from that 70s show.
Oh, did he get canceled?
He got he got jailed for quite some time.
Okay, that's the ultimate cancellation.
It is. Poll question: is jail the ultimate cancellation?
Gotcha.
And then about 48 hours later, he lost like $1 million in crypto, or like more than $1 million, like maybe 10
I guess
million.
death is the ultimate cancellation, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna put it up there.
Yeah.
By the way, we are inching closer and closer to our 1,000th poll question of the year.
Yes, it has to happen naturally.
Yes,
but I believe it will happen today.
Yeah, it may not.
It may not. We might be a little sports focused, lasered in on this weekend, but I believe it will happen today. We move on.
Okay, but so that's all that happened to Ashton Kutcher. He defended Danny.
Yeah, and everybody's mad at him for doing that, and then he
Gotcha.
lost like $10 million in crypto.
Okay, tough week.
Which is no chump change.
Yeah, I don't think about the Roman Empire.
Yeah, I don't either. Poll question: do you think about the Roman Empire?
No.
Okay. Al Michaels had a tough night last night.
Al.
He clearly doesn't care about his job anymore, which Like, that's fine. He doesn't have to. He's been doing this for like 5 decades now, and he doesn't have to bring it to Amazon Prime every week.
We
okay?
noticed that he didn't last year. It was a
Yes.
big talking point during the NFL season last year.
But that was
Al doesn't
because-
have it anymore.
That was because the games were bad. That wasn't Al's fault. He hadn't lost his fastball, right?
So now it's Al's fault?
Well, yeah, now it's Al's fault because as the third quarter got underway, Al Michaels welcomed everyone to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
Which has famously been closed for 2 decades.
Famously imploded in 2004.
Yeah. That's awesome. Way to go, Al. Oh, Al, don't you mean
That's
whatever
bad.
bank field?
No, Kirk respects Al too much to correct him on
Dude,
the air
Kirk,
like
yeah,
that.
Kirk does not do that. He
No.
does not step on his toes at all.
No. Hey, Mr. Michaels, I know about the NFL too.
We had this discussion last year. That's Kirk's role on this broadcast. He is the little child who's been invited up to the big leagues to play in a big league game for one day. It's really quite funny, the dichotomy between the relationship between those two. Meanwhile, you have Al who doesn't care at all. Now, I will say the picture, like visually, the Amazon game is spectacular. It's beautiful.
Okay, I didn't have technical problems with Amazon Prime games all of last year.
Last night you did?
Last night I could not get this thing
You were
to
buffering?
connect and stay connected, so I missed a lot of the game. I tuned into Navy in Memphis instead.
Oh, nice.
Which I don't know if that was a good way to spend my evening or not.
By the way, on that game, Ray tweeted in us earlier. He said, "Did you see the Navy Memphis game last night? There were 4 or 5 turnovers in the last 9-ish minutes of that game. One of us.
Real sickos game.
Nice.
And finally, Connor, I sent you this tweet in your DMs yesterday. It's not really an odd news. It's just a really odd take that I'd like to highlight.
Yeah. We can do that.
Greg Kelly hosts a show on Newsmax.
Oh, yes.
If you're familiar with Newsmax.
What a channel.
This isn't a political story. I swear, it's not a political story.
Just a take.
Just a take. He was discussing the Aaron Rodgers Achilles injury. And I'm trying to get the video to load, but it's being a real stinker today.
Josh has internet problems.
I do. I'm just an old man with internet issues. And while breaking down the Aaron Rodgers injury for Newsmax, Greg Kelly highlighted Aaron's propensity to use ayahuasca as a healing power. And Greg wasn't having that. He doesn't believe in the healing power of ayahuasca. So he suggested an alternative for Aaron Rodgers.
How about going to church? Whatever the hell he's talking about, ayahuasca tea is a crummy substitute for God. All right? I'm sorry, but this stuff comes from who knows.
What a take. Yes. Damn it. I wish I had that take.
Like, he's not even wrong. Ayahuasca tea is a crummy substitute for God.
I mean, that's factual.
Yeah. How about going to church?
Oh, man. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful piece of pandering if I've ever seen one. Truly, truly great stuff.
I don't even do it to denigrate like the feel good and the good things, the positivity that church provides for people. It's just what a wild take to say that Aaron Rodgers' Achilles blew out because he didn't go to church.
And because he did ayahuasca.
And, yes. Wild times, man.
Wild times.
Wild times.
The takes are out there, man.
They
We love the takes. I also love the other social media thing that's going on today, which is so people are just photoshopping all these hats on Deion Sanders now.
Oh?
So going back to Jay Norvell's comments about taking your hat off when you and people are now suggesting that Deion should wear more hats. So they're
start stacking them.
Yes. And so his son, one of his sons, Deion Sanders Jr., who I think is out there on staff in some capacity at Colorado. Or maybe, maybe he's one of the video makers.
I saw a tweet from him that made me chuckle.
Yes, he said, my dad should pull up like Doug Dimmadome to the game. And I think this is a reference from the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yes, it is, Connor.
There
Good
is a
catch
car
by you.
salesman named Doug Dimmadome, and he has a giant cowboy hat.
Giant.
Maybe he has a car podcast as well.
Simpsons fans, think of the angry Texan, and you will be caught up on what Doug Dimmadome looks like.
Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
That's right. Sneaky good show, The Fairly Odd Parents.
I think that I love that idea, and Deion should wear a lot of hats.
The team was gifted sunglasses today. Every member of the team, so
yeah.
fully expect them to do
Yeah.
their warm-ups in hats and sunglasses tomorrow.
Soon enough, everybody in the country is going to have a pair of those sunglasses.
Everyone on First Take today received a
Yep.
pair.
Aaron Andrews got some a couple weeks ago. Everybody's going to get them now.
People love those sunglasses. Why? Just because Deion's wearing them?
Yes,
Or-
that's
okay.
precisely why.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, Josh, thank you.
I didn't know if they were cool sunglasses or what.
Oh, they're kind of cool.
Okay.
They're kind of cool. They're
Yeah.
like mirror shades. I don't
Maybe our friends at Oakley could hook us up with some.
We do love it when that happens, don't we? folks?
Oakley, fine purveyors of sunglasses.
Indeed.
For all ages and sexes.
Indeed.
Oakley.com.
We love Oakley dearly. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. Okay, I told you that we're going to be doing Chappelle tickets, so here it is. All right. So I got a trivia question for you guys. And don't call yet because you got to hear the question first.
What is Kanye West?
Incorrect, Josh. You're out. The fifth caller to 402-951-1620 to correctly the caller 5, you have to answer this question correctly. The rest of you don't. But if you're caller 5, you have to answer this question correctly. We're going back in the history books a little bit. Nebraska, Northern Illinois series history. Just checking out the Winsipedia page today.
Great website.
Nebraska played Northern Illinois University in football for the first time ever in the year 1989. Nebraska won 48-17 that day.
Hell yeah.
I heard some people call into the morning show this morning or text in the morning show this morning and say that that was their first Husker game ever. So maybe you remember it well, or maybe you don't. The question you have to answer is who led the Huskers in rushing yards that day? 48-17, Nebraska won. Who led the Huskers in rushing yards that day? This person ran for 168 yards. Fifth caller to 402-951-1620 answers that, and you get Dave Chappelle tickets for Monday with your home for Dave Chappelle tickets. 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Our Cox mobile plans are like a band. The more people you add, the better it sounds. So, add more lines to save more. Pay as low as $30 per line when you add 4 or more gig unlimited lines. It's easy. I like the sound of that. Visit cox.com/mobile. 4 lines required for $30 per line price. Max of 5 lines. Prices exclude taxes, device activation, and other fees and charges, which are subject to change. Cox postpaid internet required. Other restrictions apply.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked or uneven concrete, Everlevel can do it all with their complete repair solutions. They fix cracks, lift sunken slabs, and protect the surface, all at a fraction of the price compared to replacement. And better yet, they offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Husker football head coach Matt Rule gave an injury update on starting quarterback Jeff Sims.
I'm not sure what Jeff's status will be for the game. He's progressing. As you guys know, Thursday for us is a walkthrough day. Friday will be a full practice day. So I know he feels like he's getting better. He's moving around and stuff. So we'll see how he does tomorrow.
Backup Chubba Purdy suffered a minor injury earlier in the year, but Rule said he's getting much better.
Chubba had some plays last night where he pulled it down and ran. So look good. So I think he's probably not back 100%, but I don't know if anybody is during football season, to be honest with you.
Rule said he was happy with Heinrich Hardberg's performance against Colorado when he came in relief for Sims.
I like the way he took the field last week. He went out there excited to play and ready to go, even though it was, sort of at the end of the game. It was an opportunity for him to play. He hasn't really played very much, so I think he was excited to get out there. I think he's all week been confident to kind of taking things we're asking him to do and running with him.
For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
It's obvious. We're being let down by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media are distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the real concerns of American families. Countries we're at odds with are hoarding food, financial systems are strained, and supply chains remain too fragile. We can tell something is coming, so we're preparing. Folks are getting into self-reliance and investing in emergency food storage. And My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, makes it easy for you to have peace of mind knowing you're prepared. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. And while you're there, stock up on water filtration, heirloom seeds, and emergency gear, too, at mypatriotsupply.com. It's time to prepare today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Come take a ride on their antique cars called Stefan's Country Drive, where the kids are the drivers. This year they have 2 new rides called Freya's Egg Spinners and Cousin Lauren's Racing Pigs. Visit the cider mill area where you can have a drink of their refreshing apple cider and taste some of our delicious barbecue at Ethan's Applewood Smokehouse. Vala's has over 50 other attractions included with admission. Vala's is the place to visit this fall.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
All right, congratulations to Mike, who gets tickets to Dave Chappelle on Monday from us here at 1620 The Zone, because he correctly knew that Ken Clark ran for 168 yards against Northern Illinois in 1989.
R.I.P.
Jared Godowski also ran for 74 that day. Nebraska dominated Northern Illinois. They ran for 455 yards on the ground. They passed, Nebraska did, for 102.
Wow. Not a lot.
8 for 13 was Jared Godowski that day. 557 yards of total offense, and 102 of it was through the air, which is great. And that began a long, illustrious history between Nebraska and Northern Illinois. They played back-to-back games in 89 and 90. Nebraska won by scores of 48-17 and 60-14. And then they didn't see each other again till that faithful day in September of 2017, which, by the way, if you're a bad omens guy,
a lot of us are.
Okay, so let me give you something real quick. So many people have pointed out this week that the last couple coaches have lost their first home games. Mike Riley, Scott Frost. Many people have pointed out that basically all of the failed coaches over the last 20 years have lost, with the exception of Bo, I suppose, lost to Group of 5 competition. Did Bo ever lose to a Group of 5? No, I don't know if he did. I don't think he did. I guess they almost lost to McNeese, and that was kind of it. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So I guess all of this is with the exception of Bo. And third bad omen. Nebraska lost to Northern Illinois on September 16th, 2017.
Wait a minute.
Tomorrow is September 16th, 2023.
3 bad omens. I don't like that. The hell are you doing to me?
Isn't it kind of scary?
It's terrifying.
When Nebraska under Scott Frost lost to Troy, they didn't have their starting quarterback. Nebraska may not have their starting. They didn't have their starting quarterback, and they were coming off of a loss to Colorado.
Uh-huh.
This week, Nebraska is probably not going to have their starting quarterback, and they're coming off of a loss to Colorado. Is there anything else bad that we could say based on the history?
God, I hope not.
Okay. Just making sure. If anybody else comes up with any more bad omens, please let us know, because I'm a little bit terrified.
No,
at this
please
point.
keep them to yourself.
No, I want to get them all out there so they
Okay.
can be out in the earth, and then we can maybe jinx them out of existence.
So we could exercise those demons.
Exactly. So 9-16, 2017, 21-17, Nebraska lost to Northern Illinois that day. I want to go back and look at the box score just for fun.
For funsies? This is what you do?
Well, kind of. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we're kind of sickos about Nebraska football. We remember everything that happened, but you don't really know until you look at the box score. Oh boy.
All right, what'd you find?
Well, I'm just going to say a name that you might remember. Daniel Santa Catarina was their quarterback. Now, he was not the big deal that day. Their defense was, and they had a couple guys on the defensive side that were pretty good. What I originally godded at was Tanner Lee's stat line.
Oh, no.
So we remember the pick sixes in that game. I didn't know he threw the ball 47 times. 47 times. 25 for 47, 299 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Nebraska ran the ball against Northern Illinois that day very poorly. 36 carries for 85 yards total. Mikael Wilbon had 24 carries for 90 yards that day. Yeah, that was a tough day. Somebody was wondering on the Equitable Bank inbox, Brian, what time of the day was it the 2017 game? It was not a night game. I remember that specifically. It was during the day. It may have been a morning game, or it may have been a 2:30. I feel like I remember it being a morning. I feel like I remember it being 11 a.m. Let's see. The story was posted on the Associated Press by 4:53, so that means it was probably a morning game. So, yep, got your bad omens. You send them right over. Send him our way. Also, Chris in Montana, he has one for us. I think a MAC team has also beaten a Big Ten team 5 years in a row, and there are only 4 more MAC Big Ten matchups left. And Iowa and Michigan are 2 of the Big Ten teams left versus the MAC, and the other one is Indiana, I think.
Well, sorry, Indiana. You got to take this out.
Yeah, it's going to have to be Indiana. It's going to have to be Indiana.
I'm not doing it.
I really just don't want to. But it's painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful.
Yes,
Northern
Illinois
Illinois,
Akron next week.
Northern Illinois. Okay, there's your game. There's your game right there. Northern Illinois did come back to town in 2019 and a 44-8 Nebraska win. I believe that was the game that aired on Fox Business.
Oh, we love the Fox Business game, do we not?
We do. Nebraska's been on Fox Business. They've been on ESPN News, various channels over the years. All right, now it's time to go back and check that box score too. While we're at it, let's have some fun with this.
The box score, boys.
16 for 27, 257, 2 touchdowns was Adrian Martinez. Noah Vedral also came in and threw 5 passes. Nebraska had a much better day on the ground.
Oh, good.
Than they did in 2017. In fact, you know what? Why don't we just set the line here for this week? On that day in 2019, Nebraska ran the ball 33 times for 238 yards for a whopping 7.2 yards per carry and 4 touchdowns. Diedrich Mills had 116 yards that day. Adrian Martinez only carried it 11 times. 238 over under for Nebraska this week on the ground.
238. I'm going to go over.
Yeah,
I'm going to go over.
Over. Nebraska is going to have a plan and stick with it this week. They're gonna be running the football.
Tote the rock.
They're gonna be toting the rock. That much is for sure. Let's go back to one more here from Matt Rule. Matt Rule, before Sipple joins us in a little bit, and then we're off and running on a Friday. We got keys, we got peas, we got the whole thing. So I asked BC about sort of the operation of things, and I want people to keep this in mind, because it hasn't been clean over the first couple of weeks. Yes, the quarterback has to catch the ball out of the shotgun. We blame the quarterback for a lot of different things, and there's no doubt about it. He needs to be better. Here's Matt Rule yesterday talking about sort of the operation piece of it and how much of a challenge it's been, and how much they're looking forward to getting home and maybe, hopefully, I think this is the thought, taking a bit of a deep breath.
Well, certainly our operation from getting the personnel into the play-in has been a little bit of a challenge. Certainly Minnesota was a challenge, much better Colorado. Obviously the snap counts, the cadences, we've just hasn't been good enough, right? And a lot of that, not excuses, okay, but a lot of that, right, you'd like to think would be way better at home. And we're in week 3. We've gotten better from the first 2 weeks, hopefully. The thing for me is, as I've told the guys, is, I've worked my whole life. I've waited my whole life to have a chance to step out, at Memorial Stadium and be the head coach of the Huskers. They've worked their whole lives to go out there and get to put on that helmet and go out there and compete and play together. So I'm going to take the field with joy. I'm going to take the field wanting to go 1-0, not taking the field as an 0-2 team. And I think a lot of our guys are carrying around 0-2 with them instead of I'm carrying around the joy of playing this week. So, it's just kind of being really transparent with you guys about where the team is. And this is what the team needs to do, though. This is how you reverse trends. This is how you change 6, however many years it's been of losing, is that you confront head on the things that you're afraid of. You confront head on the noise you hear. You confront head on those thoughts in your brain of fear and failure, that little voice in your head at like 2:00 in the morning. You confront all that and you overcome it. And then you become a strong, confident team, and the program has confidence. And so there's no easy way around it. So I hope that being at home helps us in that process. But the process that we're going through is still internal for each player, still internal in the locker room. They've got to overcome the past and be in the moment and build for the future.
The process that we trying to overcome is internal. So I find it so funny about how they were talking about it on the broadcast like last week against Colorado. It was like, oh, look, Colorado, I guess, just woke up and they decided to take over this game. It wasn't necessarily the case. That doesn't do any good for Nebraska because it's yet another loss where they are dealing with that entire thing and they shot their own foot off yet again last week. So like, it doesn't help you. It's not a great moral victory to have, but there does need to be the sort of the understanding that Nebraska is, in control of their destiny more so than maybe they think they are right now. It feels like a team that's walking around and they feel like they're destined for bad things to happen for them. One thing about Matt Rule, and he's mentioned this a couple times, and Satterfield I think mentioned it too. He is he's sort of like relentlessly just like that, kind of who he is, right? So he'll like be sort of awkward at weird. Like Satterfield told a story Wednesday at his media availability, and he was like, hey, so I was sitting there and I was kind of trying to figure out some stuff. I was just in my office down in the dumps. Obviously this week has been crap and we stink right now, paraphrasing obviously, but like it's been really difficult to go through. And Rule popped in and he looked at me and I'm all sad and he smiled and he goes,
let's kick it.
We get to coach at Memorial Stadium this week. You know, and that's probably the last thing the guy wants to hear. He's like, "Matt, get out of my office. Like, I'm working on stuff. Like, what's wrong with you?" But it sort of gives you that feeling in the process and the confidence in the process of like, "Hey, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be. You still got to work hard. I'm glad you're working hard. You know, I'm glad you take this personally. It's personal, but we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay." And so, as long as the coach continues to have that. There is the feeling that they will indeed be okay in that locker room. Before we get to Sipple, I have a quick story that I would like to address here. We had Connor Orr on last year. Remember, talk some NFL. I think he wrote a big long Joe Burrow story, and we talked to him about it. And he tweeted out a story this morning in which I could not help myself from clicking on. Here's the headline: Get your piss hot. A search for the origin of Matt LaFleur's message to the Packers.
All right. Edgy.
I'm going to read you some of it. Back in October of 2021, Packers coach Matt LaFleur was asked about a Week 5 game in Cincinnati, which would be the team's first of the season that took place at noon. His response was to utter undoubtedly one of the strangest coaching colloquialisms in existence, a phrase that, if amplified, may have rendered the typically modest Brown County, Wisconsin into the pearl-clutching position. The team has got to wake up with their piss hot, LaFleur said. When asked by a beat reporter to clarify how one gets their urine to such a temperature, LaFleur said, quote, "It's just a mentality. It should be naturally hot, though, right?" And so Orr goes down all these different lengths. He talked to a urologist about what are we like? Is your piss supposed to be hot? And they were talking. I should say pee probably. He was trying to find the origin of this phrase, and he ended up tracking it back to John L. Smith, the former Arkansas coach. And there was a connection between LaFleur along the way with John L. Smith. And he apparently because I've heard that. Are you a football guy? If you've heard this, right, Josh?
I have. Yes.
It gets my pee hot.
Yeah.
So if you've heard this, maybe this is what we think is the origin story. And the problem was, and this is like a major part of the story. And they made T-shirts at Arkansas and everything. Get your pee hot T-shirts. It's very, very odd. So then he went on this like scavenger hunt to try and find John L. Smith. He says, in searching for a working phone number for Smith, I reached out to folks at Arkansas, Michigan State, Fort Lewis, and Kentucky State, all places that Smith had worked. None of them had any forwarding addresses, phone numbers, nor information for Smith. I emailed and direct messaged coworkers and called in favors with several national college football reporters, but the trail was cold. I was forwarded one number for Smith that turned blue in an iPhone message window, a sign of almost guaranteed success, and wrote, "Hey, John, this is Connor, and I'm a football writer for Sports Illustrated. A phrase you often use at Arkansas has become very popular in the NFL. I wanted to reach out and learn where you got it from. I hope all is well." A minute later, the response was, "Wrong number." I left a message with Idaho's Alumni Relations Office. Yielded no help. The university could only confirm that Smith used to work there, but was not at liberty to disclose his contact information. And so that was a significant part of it. But basically, I clicked on this story and I read it all the way through, and I would encourage people to read it as well because it was quite the trip. Now, this is a football guy phrase. This is a football guy phrase, and I'm curious. There's some more football guy phrases out there. Is this the best one? And this may be the phrase that is only used in the football community. You know, it really, Colorado is talking about disrespect. It really gets my piss hot.
Is this our best football phrase?
Yeah. I'm going to say yes for now. As I read through the story, I think it became readily apparent, and I'm really glad it was written. So thank you to Connor for writing it. Rusty writes
poll
in.
question?
What would be the poll question?
Is getting your piss hot the
best football phrase? Sure.
Okay.
What does that put us at? 3 for the day?
That's 3 for the day.
Okay. The next one, and all of a sudden we throw a party. I can pretty much guarantee that Sipple's going to offer us some sort of poll question. So
He usually does.
He usually does. And he will join us when we return on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on the crossover.
Think of all of the other animals in the animal kingdom that would just eat a child if it was sitting there.
Have we put this to the test?
Sharks. If you put an infant in the ocean, the shark's probably going to eat it.
How could you be sure? I'm just waiting for the cute shark video when we dip the baby into the ocean and the shark goes, and he kind of knows what's happening.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A few showers moving through the metro area today, most likely moving out by the evening hours. We're going to hit a high of around 76 degrees. Partly cloudy overnight. Tomorrow morning, if you're in western Iowa, a brief chance of a shower, although most of us will be dry, and hit a high in the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Football season is here. You'll be going to games and you want to see all of the action on the football field. Kugler Vision can help you ditch the glasses or ditch the contacts for good. Visit them online at KuglerVision.com.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
We created a simple PDF that gives you everything you need to know about branding, designing, and building a website that increases revenue. Download the website playbook for free at jmonline.com. If you're considering a website project but not sure who to hire, go to jmonline.com and download the free website playbook. It's a guide to a high-performing website. That's jmonline.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Steve Sipple,
Hut, hey! The conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay? Omaha!
Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And we are joined on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline by Steve Sipple from Husker Online on 3.com. Also, 93.7 The Ticket in Lincoln, which Sipple got to break in a brand new radio studio this morning. Woo! Hi, Sip.
Connor, how are you?
Great. How was breaking the glass on the first show and the new digs over there?
It's an amazing studio. It's downtown on 11th and O in Lincoln. For people going to the game tomorrow, I think it'd be a fun place to stop by. There's a seating area and like an actual coffee shop. And then there's a studio in there. So you can like see if someone wanted to go in there and see Vershawn Jackson or Jay Foreman or, Aaron Davis, the Illuminary, Bill Bush, the Illuminary.
Steve Sipple.
Yeah, that's an Illuminary. So that, I think it's pretty cool. It was cool. It was fascinating. I had purposely kind of stayed away from it just because I wanted to see it in its finished state and what that would look like. And it's pretty much finished.
Does this take away your morning McDonald's coffee stop then?
Does it take away my morning McDonald's coffee stop? I'm standing out in the street here on a motorcycle. I'd say yeah. I rode my motorcycle down there today, so I didn't. I can't really do it when I'm on my cycle, but yeah, I'd say that probably.
It's tough. It's a big. I know it's a big part of your morning, and just getting familiar. Big part of my day. Yeah, big part of your day. Getting familiar with all the McDonald's workers, becoming friends over the years.
Yep, for sure. I mean, they change. I mean, there's so much turnover, so you can't get to know too many people. But I'm 2 or 3 times a day for sure.
Hey, Sip. So were you? And by the way, congratulations to you guys over there. That's a really cool spot, and look forward to dropping by.
Nice of you.
Yes,
that's your former employer, and we miss you, Connor.
Thank you, Sip. I appreciate that. So let's go back to yesterday with Real Talking before the game, and maybe we'll get to Sims. I don't think. Maybe we just do this quickly. I don't think Sims is going to play. Do you?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I just. Everything I've heard suggests that. All right, Connor, you always got to sort of leave open the possibility that it could happen, but I'm not expecting it to.
So were you surprised that Rule sort of opened up a little bit more about where the team is at from a mental perspective right now?
Was I surprised? No, I'm never really surprised because he says a lot. He says what's on his mind. He gives you a lot of information. So no, I'm never really surprised.
I mean, he hasn't really gone there, because I think he wanted to really do that. This is the fresh start and not carry the baggage of whatever had gone on before him here. But I think maybe that was yesterday, him sort of realizing, yeah, well, I mean, it exists on this team, not realizing, but admitting, hey, this is a thing that exists on this team, and this is our main challenge that we have to get over at this point. It's really internal, and it's a mental thing. And the difficult part about that, I think, for us to try and there's no like football way to just figure that out, and it probably takes some time too. Like I thought Rule's comments yesterday were really intriguing.
I do. I mean, this is I'm not. It's only been the last few years where I've acknowledged a lot of the psychological mental talk, that this is a mental hurdle everybody's got to get over. I don't disagree with him, but I'm more about just hit a guy and cause a fumble and then get the ball at the 5 and put it in.
Yeah.
I'm not about,
I got you.
I'm not sure all the time about all this mental talk. Like, are guys out there on the field going, oh God, we're down 7-0, now we're in trouble? I can't believe that there's competitors out there that think exactly like that. I guess there's maybe a here we go again mentality. It strikes me as really weak. Like if that's the case, it just seems extraordinarily weak to me. If that's so, I guess what I'm telling you, Connor, I don't fully buy into it. Like I don't know that Luke Reimer's out there tiptoeing around wondering when the dam's gonna break. I don't think they operate like that. So I wouldn't say I fully go down this. We always go down these roads that are very abstract. Like, what's it mean? Like, here's what's more meaningful to me: the running back breaks into the open and runs 70 yards for a touchdown. That's what causes. That's what gets a team confident. You know, making plays, not what's in their head. You know, they're trying to figure out what's in the heads of a program that has 175 people operating. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they all think the same.
You know what's funny? And to your point, Sipple, so I can go along with that. And like, to your point, the guy at the center of these conversations as far as where things are at from the mental point is Jeff Sims, the quarterback, a guy who just played his first game, 15 days ago. So like at Nebraska 15 days ago. So it's not like he was, being bogged down by the losses of the past.
Right. And I don't think Rule is, or Terrence Knighton, or on and on. No, I don't. I think they just didn't play well, and they turned the ball over. I'm not sure. I respect where Matt's coming from, and I do think there's an element of that. It doesn't go very far. It goes a little ways with me, but not very far. They just got to go play football, quit turning the ball over, block and tackle and execute. And that means way more than me than an abstract conversation about the psychological well-being of a program that's struggled. It doesn't mean that much to me when we go down that road.
We oftentimes overthink it, Sipple. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you think Jeff Sims has handled being the quarterback at Nebraska so far?
Guy, that's a good question. It seems like all the weight that you carry in that position it seemed like he was comfortable with it. It's hard to say because we haven't talked to him. The media hasn't talked to Jeff Sims this week. I did wonder going into the Colorado game if that environment might affect him a little bit. Maybe you get a little rattled in that environment. Maybe that would lead to a drop snap. Can't hear. You're not hearing the cadence very well. I get all that. Or maybe it's just that guy that he was at Georgia Tech. Maybe he doesn't read the field particularly well. It's hard. Maybe that's pretty hard to teach. I don't know. Kind of baffling. But I would say he's still got a little time.
Oh yeah.
When he gets back, it's possible, very possible, that a guy with that sort of ability, that size, that ability, and now that experience could get on a little roll. But his time is running out now. It is. There's just you can't turn the ball over at his rate and just expect that people are just going to keep giving you chance after chance. I don't think he's hit the threshold of you throw up your hands and go with another guy. I don't think he has. He has in some people's minds because I hear from him, but I'm not sure that's fair. I think you got to give him another opportunity to show what he can do, and then he's got to take advantage of it. And if he doesn't, it's just getting down to a point where it's too late.
Well, here's the thing that he has going for him. I don't know that the expectations in terms of the turnovers are that high. Like you mentioned it, he was who he was at Georgia Tech, and I think Nebraska, I mean, they had to expect that. They had to know that. But what he's done in the first 2 games is that he's putting the ball in danger at double the rate he was doing it when he was already turnover prone at Georgia Tech. Like that's the problem. It's the problem is not what it was. It's that the problem has doubled and gotten worse.
Right. So nobody's being unfair in the way they assess this. It's just in our face, and we have to talk about it. You're 100% right. It's just I don't want to say it is what it is because you don't want to go there, but I don't know what else to say about it. We all know the situation. It's been really unfortunate. It's been unfortunate because I think without those turnovers, you look at everything a little bit differently. You look a little bit better.
Yeah.
So he's impacting the entire program and the first part of the season. It doesn't have to be 0-2. It doesn't. It should probably be 1-1, and you would be thinking about things a lot differently.
Okay, so people were asking this question this week. What happens if Heinrich Harburg is really clean with it on Saturday? And I mean, he doesn't, like I said, the expectation doesn't have to be too high for him, but if he protects the ball well and he's relatively efficient with it, what's the conversation like on Sunday and Monday?
Well, the conversation starts with the competition and the venue was much different. I mean, he would have advantages in that wasn't Minnesota, it wasn't a Power 5 team, and it wasn't Colorado in this incredible environment, which is Colorado, the story of sports right now, college sports for sure. So his stage is much more manageable. So he'd have to acknowledge that. But if he, God, I hope we're having this conversation. I hope Heinrich comes out and does make this a conversation, a real hard one. Completes 60%, runs for 90, and leads long touchdown drives that look good. I hope that's what we're talking about. That'd be good for everybody, and it wouldn't be bad for Sims. That's all right. I don't think Sims probably does expect things to be handed to him. So I think for everybody involved, that would be great if Heinrich Harburg's ready to do that.
Isn't the next 2 weeks sort of, and not that Nebraska can't lose them because they're certainly capable of doing so. But isn't it sort of about like calming the waters, taking a deep breath just a little bit, and then at the end of the next 2 weeks, you sort of get to figure out a little bit more of where you're at. Like, I don't want to minimize because these games are hugely important, especially if you're in danger of losing one of them. But I mean, getting home it seems like Matt Rule is sort of leaning on the idea of, yeah, that should help us out. But there is, of course, the chance that it doesn't.
Yeah, what you're talking about is normal. I mean,
yeah,
normalcy would feel really good, right? Like a fairly easy win, and if you say waters are calmed, that would be normalcy. Yeah, I remember distinctly. I wrote a column before the 2017 game against Northern Illinois, and I asked for normalcy. Okay,
didn't get it. Sean Eichhorst came to the press conference. That wasn't very normal.
Exactly what we're talking about right now in September of 2017, a column that said what Nebraska needs right now is some normalcy. And that's what we got. So I don't want, and now I'm not suggesting that the same scenario would play out if Nebraska lost, but let's be very honest about it. Okay. If Tennessee or Notre Dame or Texas A&M or, name a program with a large following, started 0-3 and lost at home to Northern Illinois, it would be really uncomfortable, and it would be a firestorm. Okay, that's the reality. Any place that cares about football, any collegiate program, anywhere that's a pretty high level situation. If you start like that, you go 0-3 and you lose on your home field to Northern Illinois, it's going to get really uncomfortable, and that's the reality.
So you should not write about normalcy today.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
So
Even though it's true, they need it. I mean, deep breath, normalcy. They need that badly. But yeah.
I'm not trying to be a harbinger of doom, but I mean, we talk and talk and talk, and you have to acknowledge that side of it. We acknowledge the side if they have an easy, relatively easy win, how good that would be, especially if the quarterback plays well. But yeah, there is a little, in the back of your mind, if you're a Nebraska fan, you have to have that. Get ready. If it doesn't go well, then your radio show on Monday is going to be awfully uncomfortable.
Poll question.
It's going to be a lot of anger.
Poll question: is Steve Sipple a harbinger of doom?
I'm not a harbinger of doom. Some of this is please don't put that poll question. My God, Con.
It would be our 1000th poll question of the year. I really want to do it.
Think of a better one. You can do it. Don't. Because I'm not. I don't feel like I am at all.
Okay, I'll be the harbinger of doom. Are you ready for this? So,
yeah.
Nebraska played Northern Illinois in 2017. It was on September 16th. Tomorrow will be September 16th. Each of the last two coaches have lost their first home games. And that, tomorrow is Matt Rule's first home game. In 2017, in 2018, Scott Frost had come off of a loss to Colorado and then lost to Troy, which was a group of 5 school. Each of the last coach lost to a group of 5 school pretty early, setting a bad tone. Those are some harbingers of doom.
Yeah, they are. So let's just all hope that tomorrow goes well, and we don't have to have a dark Monday, right?
Yes, that would be great for everybody. So before we let you go, do you think Nebraska is going to win tomorrow? Because I do.
Yeah, I do. It'd be hard to pick. It'd be really hard to really dig into this one and find a lot of reasons why Northern Illinois would win. First of all, Nebraska does have a good defense, and everybody knows what happened with Northern Illinois last week. And I think the defense is nice. I always like defense at night. They're wound up. That side of the ball can be wound up. And so I wouldn't be surprised at all if Northern Illinois struggles to get to 10, and I think Nebraska, at the minimum, can score 3 touchdowns, and then I think it would go. I think that would be pretty good if you can push that towards 30 and into the 30s on the offensive side. I think everybody would feel better. I'm really kind of rooting for Heinrich Harburg. I hope he's, you want to see how he operates. In front of a full stadium at night. How's the operation? How's his presence? How's his command? Does he look like a leader? I hope he has all that stuff in mind. That's what you want to see. You want to see strength at that position. You want to see a guy who's actively exhorting his teammates and is fired up and gets up after a good run and makes that. Okay, I'm getting out of control, but makes that first down motion, which I never get tired of.
Okay, poll question. Do you want Heinrich Harburg to do the first down motion tomorrow?
Yeah,
okay.
Anytime, every time. I don't care if it's nothing. I love it when they do it. So, yeah, I'm wildly fascinated by the whole thing.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, I'll see you in the press box.
Okay, yep.
Bye-bye.
Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com, who nixed our 1000th poll question, took us back to 999, but now we have it, Josh. Yes! Our 1000th poll question of the year.
We made it, everybody.
Will read as follows. Do you want Heinrich Harburg to do the first down sign as many times as possible tomorrow?
Heinrich, tough name to spell.
H-E-I-N.
Rich.
Rich.
Do you want Heinrich Harburg to do the first down motion as many times as possible tomorrow? Is that?
I think, yeah, because Sipple says that he wants everyone to do it maximum amount of times. He loves when people do the first down side, which honestly, kind of out of left field for Sipple. I didn't think
it feels very not like Sipple at all.
I like the first one. Is Steve Sipple a harbinger of doom?
Yeah. Wish we would have got the okay for that.
Yep.
But he seemed very against
He was super against it. We could have done it. And I just would have fought him tomorrow, but well, we'll do that one. All right. So happy 1000th poll question of the year. Had a good run so far.
Good job, everybody.
Maybe in honor of the 1000 poll questions, we do your favorite out of the first 1000.
Oh, wow.
It's an easy top 5.
I mean, I'd have to read every single one of them, but
yeah, I guess so.
I got a whole weekend.
You take it a month at a time. We already have the top 5s for each month. Okay. Nah, whatever. You got winners of the weekend. Speaking of a top 5, we do have the top 5 when we return. Josh, what's our topic today?
Well, we're going to go top 5 whodunit movies of all time.
What's that? What? Why? And what are you talking about?
In honor of, in theaters this weekend, the newest movie from movie detective Hercule Poirot, A Haunting in Venice. One of the famous characters of all of literature, Connor.
Literature, huh?
It's called books, Connor.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that crap.
That's why we're doing movies. Top 5 whodunit movies.
How many of these do you think I've seen?
I think the number's 2.
Okay.
It might be 3 or 4.
Email from Fivewinder, and yes, this one's on me. I point the thumb. He says, Connor, I'm disappointed that you didn't ask Sipple about getting his piss hot.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bad mistake by me. That was a big time mess up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Josh has his top 5 whodunit movies in honor of a book, a movie about a book.
A movie about a book, yeah.
Perfect. Next on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em returns. It's your chance to win $1,620. All you have to do is correctly pick 4 college or NFL games against the spread. Listen to qualify every weekday or enter online at 1620thezone.com. One lucky listener will be selected each week to make their picks live on air.
Awesome.
Go to 1620thezone.com for complete rules and contest details. It's 4-quarter pick'em with 1620 The Zone.
Say goodbye to summer and hello to cash loans. Let's face it, your personal banker probably won't loan you thousands of dollars today, but Saul's Jewelry and Loan will. Simply bring in your boat, camper, RV, jet ski, ATV, motorcycle, even your beautiful convertible, along with a clear title, and Saul's will loan you up to $50,000. No credit check, no hassle, and more importantly, no worries. Saul's indoor storage facility is so clean and secure, you can store your precious Harley-Davidson for the winter and pick it up next spring. So if you need a quick cash loan, Saul's is here to help.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Nelson Produce Farms presents the 2023 Truck and Tractor Days. Saturday and Sunday, September 16th and 17th at Nelson Produce Farm of Valley, Nebraska. There are tractor and semi-rides, old-fashioned tractors, and farm equipment kids are allowed to sit in. Also, a state fair qualifier tractor pull, music, and live entertainment. Get a close-up look at the machines that make Nebraska agriculture successful and strong. The 2023 Truck and Tractor Days, September 16th and 17th at Nelson Produce Farm. Details at nelsonproducefarm.com.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks. Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Every time I think of how much Steve Sipple loves the first down motion, I laugh harder and harder. What a revelation! I had no idea. I figured it would go the opposite way. You know, I really love when they do that. I never get sick of it. That first down motion.
Seems like a guy that would be anti-charisma and personality.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anti-celebration, stuff like that.
You got to act like you've been there before.
No, I love that. I want to see it. I want to see it as many times as humanly possible.
Don't disrespect the opponent.
Deion says, I want to see the whole team do the first down motion. Yeah, what if they heard that interview and then tomorrow Nebraska gets a first down and the entire team at the same time, like a video game, goes first down.
The 1,000th poll question of the year.
Yep.
Wow.
We figured Sipple was going to give us one. We like the first one better, but we'll take that one.
We wanted it to be a celebratory poll question. We didn't want there to be any controversy surrounding it.
Yep. Verbal poll, though, is Steve Sipple the harbinger of doom? Harbinger of doom.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so as well. Okay, we got a tweet from Amazing Daniel.
Hi, Amazing.
Super surprised that Connor Happer has never heard of Hercule Poirot. How could this have happened? I'd put Sherlock Holmes on the case, but he's probably never heard of him either. No, I did see that movie with Will Ferrell. That movie sucked.
That movie just sucked.
That movie was bad. That was it. I mean, tough look for Will Ferrell. He hasn't had many misses, but that was one of them.
That was a big miss.
Wasn't the other guy Mark Wahlberg? Who else was in that?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly, yeah. Yeah, and everybody was super excited because it was going to be like Step Brothers.
Oh, it's going to be like Step Brothers.
Yeah.
No,
it was not.
Nope, not.
So
even
that movie's not on here?
No, you will not see Holmes and Watson on this. No. Nor will you see the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies.
Oh, yeah.
On this list.
Yeah. Okay, that's good too. You think I've seen 2?
I think you've got 2.
We're shooting for 3.
Okay.
Come on.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
7.
7. But I look a lot older. That's Benjamin Button.
Yes.
That's my favorite line in cinematic history, by the way.
Benjamin Button saying, I look a lot older.
Yeah. So that if that could be your best revelation of the day, which is a more shocking revelation? That Steve Sipple loves when people do the first down motion in football games, or that Connor Happer's favorite cinematic movie line of all time is when Benjamin Button, as an old man, someone asks him how old he is, and he says,
7, but I look a lot older.
All right.
I don't know how you're going to get that one out there, but
I'm working on that.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on the movie 7 or the Google synopsis? Have you seen 7?
No, I haven't seen 7.
Okay.
That's the movie where people are yelling the whole time, right? Is that something about when they're yelling about something? What are they yelling in that movie? They're yelling something. Is it
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Okay.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, they're yelling.
Okay.
See, that's how I know that movie. The Google synopsis says this. I have not seen it. When retiring police detective William Somerset tackles a final case with the aid of newly transferred David Mills, Brad Pitt, they discover a number of elaborate and grisly murders. They soon realize that they are dealing with a serial killer, Kevin Spacey. Interesting. Who is targeting...
They just revealed the end of the movie right there. Huh? Okay.
Who is targeting people he thinks represent one of the 7 deadly sins. Somerset also befriends Mills' wife, Gwyneth Paltrow, who is pregnant and afraid to raise her child in the crime-riddled city. So that just gave away the whole movie?
Yeah, a lot of it.
Okay. Nice.
All right, poll 1001 is up now.
Perfect. Can't wait to see it cross my TL. Which is the more shocking revelation? Sipple loving the first down sign, or Happer's favorite line in cinematic history being from Benjamin Button, 7, but I look a lot older. Perfect. Thank you, Josh.
Go ahead and smash that retweet button on that one, everybody.
Smash that subscribe button. Number 4.
I love 7.
Let's do number
7's a great movie.
Yeah.
Number 4.
What the hell's happening on the MLB network?
Oh, there's an old lady with Buck Showalter. I don't want to say anything because you never know who the old lady is.
True.
We got a text from the text line, which is a screenshot of a previous text from Eric, which read, "Each time I think I cannot lose more respect for Connor's entertainment takes, he proves me wrong." He just copied and pasted it back over.
7 is a very good movie. I'm not going to get mad that you haven't seen it. We're close to the line.
Thank you for the mild defense, Josh.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Also, I mean, we canceled Kevin Spacey, so you can't watch it now.
Well, he's uncanceled, right?
I don't know.
He's
so hard to keep track.
Yeah, I think he got some favorable verdicts.
Yeah, remember when we tried to cancel Morgan Freeman?
Yeah.
And America said, no, thank you.
We've gone too far with this cancel culture.
Number 4 is Clue, the movie.
Now, somebody said before this segment started that if Clue is not number 1, this is going to be a problem.
Wow.
Yes. So.
Clue, the movie, 1985. Connor? Tim Curry? Christopher Lloyd?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
6 blackmail victims are invited to an isolated mansion by a man who knows a dark secret from each of their pasts. On arrival, each is given a pseudonym drawn from Cluedo before being introduced to the blackmailer. Each is handed a weapon, at which point the lights are switched off and the blackmailer is killed. Can the guests uncover the murderer before they all become victims? All right.
Have you played the board game Clue?
Maybe once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clue is a hilarious.
Isn't that the one where you have the little people on the board, like you have the people, and then you flip them down?
No, that's Guess Who.
Oh, see,
which would also make a great whodunit movie.
Damn it!
Clue is.
I don't think I've played Clue.
Colonel Mustard in the conservatory with the lead pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I have heard that.
You sound like someone who has, in fact, heard that before. Definitely.
Eric continues to be surprised on the text line. Why are you surprised by this? This is
Eric, just fire that tweet off 5 times.
Yeah. Keep sending it.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
We're going to have 2 out of the final 3, which I've seen.
I thought we were making, Connor, some headway on things you've seen.
Oh, yeah.
Common ground between us. But in the last, 36 hours, you've shown no growth.
Sorry, I was too busy having a life.
Well, number 3 is Knives Out.
Knives Out is awesome. I
There you
have
go.
seen Knives Out, and I liked it. I
There
didn't
you
see
go.
Knives Out 2 yet, though.
Glass Onion. Terrible name for a movie.
Yeah.
I understand why it's called Glass. Like, I get it.
And this is
Terrible
where
name.
this is where I learned about Ana de Armas.
Ah, yes, as did a lot of America.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that sweater Chris Evans wore?
Yeah.
Took the world by storm.
Yeah. This is a great movie.
It is.
The circumstances surrounding the death of a crime novelist, Harlan Thrombey, are mysterious, but there's one thing that renowned detective Benoit Blanc knows for sure. Everyone in the wildly dysfunctional Thrombey family is a suspect. Now Blanc must sift through a web of lies and red herrings to uncover the truth.
Ah, that's you got to have a red herring in a whodunit movie.
Absolutely. Something that nobody sees coming.
Mhm.
Daniel Craig. Love when Daniel Craig does different accents.
Yes.
I've talked about this before. I like when he's in the movie about the heist of the Talladega race car track.
Oh, Logan Lucky.
That movie is hilarious.
That's a great movie.
Yes. Thank you.
I like when Daniel Craig has fun because he strikes me as someone that is quite literally incapable of having fun.
It's a good one.
It just looks like he's mad all the time.
Ryan writes in, I
Hi,
didn't
Ryan.
know it was possible for someone to not know the board game Clue. I know about it. I just don't think I've played it.
It didn't sound like you knew it. I'll be honest.
I knew about it. I know about it.
Here comes two.
Number 2.
You've got a big weekend ahead, Connor. You need to watch The Big Green and you need to play a board game of Clue.
There's no chance that either of those things are happening. I have football to watch.
Football's not on 24/7.
Yes, it is. Football.
You need to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow, pop in The Big Green, and then watch College Game Day, where The Rock will be the guest picker. No movies from The Rock are in this top 5.
That's good.
Yeah, it really is. Number 2 is Scream.
Scream.
A horror whodunit.
The guy with the mask.
Ghostface.
Yes. I know the guy from the mask most famously from the funny version of this movie.
Scary Movie.
Scary Movie, yes.
Which was the original title of Scream.
Yes. I'd never seen Scream. though.
Okay. I thought we had talked about Scream and you said you had seen it, so I don't know if we're going to get to 2. In fact, I'm quite positive we won't.
Damn.
Let alone 3.
Should I read it?
Yeah, read it.
Scream is an American murder mystery and slasher franchise that includes 6 films, a television series, merchandise, and games. Okay. Yeah, so I think they mean just the mask that people wear on Halloween.
yeah.
Great. I mean, that's like the GOAT of Halloween costumes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Isn't it?
Certainly top 5 Halloween
Yeah,
costumes.
Scream is the GOAT of Halloween costumes.
Slutty blank.
Yeah. Right.
Number 1 for all time.
All right, Josh.
All right, number 1. Relevant to this station today. Little
Really?
tease for you. Number 1 whodunit of all time.
So, number 1.
Number 1.
Does it star John Bishop?
I would watch a version of this movie starring John Bishop. They will be talking about it on the movie club this afternoon. It is Silence of the Lambs.
Oh. Yeah, I know about the line from that movie, but I don't know about I haven't seen the movie.
Which line?
Puts the lotion on the skin.
Yes. Or else it gets the hose again.
Gets the hose again.
It does this whenever it's told.
Yep. And I only learned about it from the one scene in Joe Dirt. Where he's in the hole for a long time.
So did you see that scene in Joe Dirt and go, this seems like it's from something, and you asked around?
Correct.
And
I didn't ask around. I figured it out.
Okay.
I figured it out.
Okay.
But yeah. And I had heard the line before.
Okay. Silence of the Lambs and Scream are 5-star movies from yours truly, Josh Hodson, which is a rare feat. And we get them both in one list.
Yeah, I think you stray a little bit towards scary movies.
I do.
Jodie Foster stars as Clarice Starling.
She does.
A top student at FBI's training academy. Jack Crawford wants Clarice to interview Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant psychiatrist who's also a violent psychopath, serving life behind bars for various acts of murder and cannibalism. Crawford believes that Lecter may have insight into a case and that Starling, as a attractive young woman, just might be the bait to draw him out. Released February 14, 1991. Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Let's go see Silence of the Lambs, honey.
John has tweeted in.
Hi, John.
I, of course, would be starring in the Clarice role. John the bait.
Feels
to get
like
Hannibal Lecter.
Feels like a Photoshop this afternoon.
Perfect.
Mike has commented in on the YouTube stream.
Hey, Mike.
Put Connor in the well for how bad he is at
don't
this.
put me in the well. Sounds horrible.
Hurtin' Husker fan comments in.
Hello, Hurtin'.
Connor on Clue is like that kid we all knew in our childhood. Yeah, I obviously know what insert word here means, but I just don't want to tell you.
I still do that to
what it
this
is,
day.
Obviously.
I did that to I do that to everybody I meet. I say that I know what they're talking about. And eventually I figured out like I do know about it. But I think, Josh and I are close, and I should tell him that I hadn't seen some movies that I hadn't seen, and then you guys get to hear that end of the conversation as
I don't
well.
shame you like others do.
No, you don't, and it makes me feel really comfortable that and now
this is
it's
a safe
really
place.
it's really turned on me.
Yeah.
It's not a safe place. I'm taking a beating for this, but I get it. I need to watch more movies. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the top 5. Our keys are next on a Football Friday on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's hot outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink icy cold, Nebraska-brewed beer, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click nebraska.beer to learn more.
Every Friday, we bring you discounts to some of your favorite businesses in Omaha. Well, we decided that one deal a week just wasn't good enough. Welcome to OmahaWeekendDeals.com. Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard. Receive 2 good anytime passes for admission to Vallis Pumpkin Patch, an $88 value for just $44. Vallis Pumpkin Patch in Gretna, Nebraska is now open, but remember, these deals sell out fast. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to check out our great deals. That's OmahaWeekendDeals.com.
Star Wars Fiend comments in. Oops.
That's Star Wars.
Connor to entertainment is what Jeff Sims is to learning Bop It. It's just painful.
Painful. Painful.
Another one from Hurt and Husker fan. You guys bringing the Wildcat scene back into my life has me excited about the dramatic reading of the recording in the crossover. Yeah, the Wildcat. Wildcat. He can see you. I forgot. Stay tuned for the crossover this afternoon because we will have a dramatic reading of the Bo audio tape.
That's right.
Circa the Ohio State game in 2011, which I was just reminded about yesterday and then forgot about again until just now.
Ryan has tweeted in.
I need the script, by the way. If anybody's listening, I need the script printed out. Or send me a link or something.
Ryan has tweeted in. I think we have our 1002nd poll question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Connor aware that entertaining things existed prior to 2005?
Yes.
I am shaming him, yes.
I've seen Dumb and Dumber. Many of my favorite things that happened were before 2005.
Oh, name 3.
Dumb and Dumber. That happened before 2005. 1992.
Mm-hmm.
My birth also happened in 1992. That was entertaining for the rest of the world. But that one doesn't count, I guess. The movie
Dumb and Dumber 94.
Okay. The movie Vacation. I love Vacation.
Sure. Okay.
Many of the best SNL episodes happened before 2005.
Yep, absolutely.
The Royals won the World Series in 1985.
Okay.
Entertaining. There was, I mean, I could keep going. No, there's many good things. Many good things. A few very bad things, but mostly good things.
Name 3.
Very bad things
Yeah.
that happened before 2005?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to decline.
Okay. Probably for the best.
Yep. Keys. Been on it all week. I think Nebraska's going to win tomorrow. Will
You're
it be
very confident?
Will we hear the murmurs? The murmurs? Yes, they will indeed exist. Nebraska's going to turn the ball over. They're not going to just go from being the dirtiest team on planet Earth to the cleanest team on planet Earth.
Dirty?
Yeah, they've been dirty. What the opposite of clean is dirty, right?
Okay, yeah, sure.
They've been dirty in terms of turnovers. Messy, sloppy, disgusting. Turnover prone. Nebraska's going to turn the ball over tomorrow, and you will hear the murmurs. But I think they're going to get a couple back as well. Key number 1. In the words of the late, great Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Relax. I'm telling you that it's not going to be pretty. Nebraska's got some growing pains. They need to get things corrected on offense. Deep breath. Try and keep away the murmurs as much as possible. But a win is a win tomorrow. So this one is just for everybody. And like I said before, maybe these aren't necessarily keys to victory, but these are keys to avoiding insanity, actually. So it's a little bit different. A win is a win tomorrow for Nebraska. I can't really envision a world where it's like 48-7. You know, I just don't. I don't see that really in the cards tomorrow. In fact, I do envision a world almost completely where it's under the assigned number for Nebraska in Northern Illinois tomorrow, which I believe is sitting at 42.5. Let me make sure one more time.
FanDuel Sportsbook.
Correct.
/Happer.
/Happer. 42.5 tomorrow. Relax.
Relax.
That's everybody. For you. That's for them. It's definitely for them, by the way. If we're talking about the actual football part, the offensive organization piece, just they did not do a good job of the first 2 weeks dealing with all of the other stuff of going on the road. And they were thrust right into it right away, so there's a reason, there's an excuse. But get it home tomorrow. Get in front of your people. Won't be too nerve-wracking of an environment, and slow that operation down a little bit. Number 2, here's another thing I want to see. Shoot your shot. Not Josh sliding in DMs, but shoot your shot, meaning I understand Nebraska is pretty low on skill talent at the moment, but I do think against Northern Illinois, you could test this out. I'd like to see Nebraska be a little bit more aggressive, pushing the football down the field. Now, the question is, of course, who catches it? There's got to be somebody on the other side of that. I think Hot Heine throws a halfway decent deep ball. I mean, we know this. He has a cannon. The kid's got a gun. He's got a hose, as they say. So I think he could throw it deep. So I'd like to see Nebraska take a couple shots at opportune times tomorrow. Who are they to? Who's the most likely targets for this? Maybe this is a week where we could see a flash from a Jalen Lloyd or a Malachi Coleman.
Take a chance.
Take a chance on me. Exactly. Throw it deep. Give me some good old-fashioned 9 routes. Rule talked about it at the beginning of the week. Love to see them just be a little bit more aggressive on offense. I know they want to be who they're going to be, and they're going to be conservative. They're going to huddle up and do all this stuff. But the thing about tempo is you could sort of deploy it whenever you feel like you need to deploy it. And if you got a team on your heels, that's the time. Take a shot at them. Shoot your shot. Key number 2. Key number 3. Take it away. Take it away. Take it away now.
Oh.
Not give it away, please God. I don't know if NIU, Northern Illinois, is going to be able to drive all the way down the field on Nebraska's defense. Like, this is not like this is not a team that's going to put together like a 15-play, 77-yard drive and score a touchdown on you, I don't think. So they're going to take some shots. They're going to put the ball in harm's way a little bit.
Ooh.
Rocky Lombardi career, 32 touchdowns passing, 26 interceptions.
Wow, what a turnover machine.
I thought you were going to say, what a turd. What a turd. 1 touchdown, 3 picks so far this year. He's going to put the ball in harm's way. I want to see Nebraska defensive backs actually come up with a few this week. Turn it over. Take it away, take it away, take it away now. And if you accomplish those things, I think Nebraska has a nice, pleasant, peaceful Saturday evening, and I get to drive back from the game on Saturday night, and I get to see the billboard all lit up, and it'll say Nebraska's number is bigger than Northern Illinois' number, and then I get happy again.
Have we confirmed that billboard does exist?
No.
Oh, we have not.
I haven't driven back from Lincoln, and I don't usually go that way either. So I usually get off at the old Gretna exit.
Whoa, don't reveal your secret.
It's not a secret. Don't ever take that way. I hate it. If you can avoid it at all costs, please do. 204th Street is the worst place in America.
Wow. Poll question?
Bad spot. Bad spot. Too far of a distance to cover. Too many stoplights. People don't go fast enough. Too many trucks. Too many tractors. Too many businesses. Make it an interstate.
I agree. You're not wrong.
I hope it exists, but I do not know if it does. There's been some conversation about it maybe not existing. Those are my 3 keys to Nebraska and Northern Illinois tomorrow, who will meet for the 5th time ever. Nebraska has the lead in that series, 3-1. Northern Illinois came here in 2017 and picked off Tanner Lee 3 times and won the football game 21-17. Nebraska won in 2019.
You could say this is a real restore the order game.
Restore the order game. The order was restored, I guess, in 2019.
Sure.
But restore it again. Double restore the order. Those are the keys. We'll come back. Our picks of the weekend. Josh has a gap to start this season.
Commanding lead.
2 weeks in, and he has a nice little lead with a 10-3 start for Josh Hodson.
Making money.
Bet with Josh, fade Connor. Will it continue this week in a light college football slate? We'll come back with that next on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A few showers moving through the metro area today, most likely moving out by the evening hours. We're going to hit a high of around 76 degrees. Partly cloudy overnight. Tomorrow morning, if you're in western Iowa, a brief chance of a shower, although most of us will be dry, and hit a high in the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
Oh, why?
That's the sound people make during peak hours when they have T-Mobile 5G home internet.
Why? Oh.
See, their network may slow down when too many people are online, making them emit an involuntary.
Why?
Why get T-Mobile 5G home internet when Cox Internet has faster and more reliable download speeds during peak hours? Visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
We created a simple PDF that gives you everything you need to know about branding, designing, and building a website that increases revenue. Download the website playbook for free at jmonline.com.
If you're considering a website project but not sure who to hire, go to jmonline.com and download the free website playbook. It's a guide to a high-performing website. That's jmonline.com.
Hey, folks, is your concrete in need of repair? Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts and a Best of Omaha winner, Everlevel Concrete Repair. They can completely restore and repair your concrete at a fraction of the price compared to replacement and offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. There's a reason they're a Best of Omaha winner. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Vala's Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Come take a ride on their antique cars called Stefan's Country Drive, where the kids are the drivers. This year they have 2 new rides called Freya's Egg Spinners and Cousin Lauren's Racing Pigs. Visit the cider mill area where you can have a drink of their refreshing apple cider and taste some of our delicious barbecue at Ethan's Applewood Smokehouse. Vala's has over 50 other attractions included with admission. Vala's is the place to visit this fall.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
Is your car making a howling, growling, or crunching noise? It could be related to the drivetrain, which consists of your transmission, your transfer case, and differentials. Omaha Transmission is specialized in diagnosing and repairing all those components. Don't diagnose it yourself. Take out the guesswork and have us tell you for sure.
Omaha Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Okay, picks of the weekend. We choose 5 games, 5, that are supposed to be the biggest and best in college football that college football has to offer. Then we have the Nebraska game, and then we have the Sickos game of the week.
That makes for a total of
7.
7.
But look at that. So 7 games. Now, I will say this, it doesn't have to always be 7 games. Yes, there will be the weeks where Nebraska doesn't play. So that'll bring us down to 6. But before we unveil the Sickos game, I will tell you that the Nebraska-Northern Illinois game basically came in second to be the Sickos game this week. I highly considered it. I thought about it. And when you think about it, isn't it kind of a Sickos game? It's a super low total. Northern Illinois lost to Southern Illinois last week. I mean, there's a lot of makings in this game. Omens, if you will, Josh.
Sicko elements.
But we avoided it. And so we have a different game, which we will be unveiling in just a moment.
We begin. By the way, records.
Update those standings for everyone.
2 weeks through, Josh went 6-1 last week. Wow. With his only loss being picking Texas A&M against Miami. So that makes you 10-3 on the year.
That's good.
I am 6-7. Not horrible.
No,
not horrible. But we're just starting out. Low sample size. We begin. Let me get a quick second check on all of these lines.
Yeah, there's always some late movement on those lines.
This one is confirmed.
Courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook.
Number 7, Penn State is a 14.5-point favorite in Champaign against the Illinois Fighting Illini tomorrow, 11 a.m. on Fox. Not big noon, but big noon kickoff. Not the show, though.
Right.
Josh, you have the lead. You get the first pick.
They looked bad against Kansas. They barely beat Toledo. I don't know how they hang with Penn State. Give me the Nittany Lions.
Agreed. Where's the offense?
Yeah.
Does it exist at all? And the defense has all of a sudden grown leaky as well. I think they miss Ryan Walters quite a bit, and the quarterback thing hasn't quite been figured out yet. Give me Penn State. That one feels like I feel good about that one. Yeah. Penn State minus 14.5. Number 15, Kansas State is let me make sure, is a 3.5-point favorite. We'll adjust that real quick.
Okay.
Is a 3.5-point favorite against an old friend at Faurot Field in Columbia, Missouri tomorrow. That's right. K-State and Missouri are getting together. 11 a.m. on the SEC network, just like God intended it. Two old Big 12 rivals playing on the SEC network. I will begin. Give me K-State. I think they're a threat to, spoil the Big 12 this year. I understand that Texas. I've come to the understanding that Texas is indeed back. That is a thing. They're not in the SEC yet, but K-State's still there. They play good physical football. They're not going to beat themselves. I'll say that Missouri is certainly capable of an upset here, but I do like K-State by about a touchdown here. They're 3.5-point favorites.
Neither team has played a very impressive schedule up to this point. K-State has handled their business nicely up to this point. Mizzou at home against Middle Tennessee last week did not take the lead until the fourth quarter. Give me the Wildcats here.
Wildcat. Minnesota is at number 20, North Carolina, who is a 6.5-point favorite, down from 7.5 when I saw this last night. 6.5. Number 20, North Carolina is favored over Minnesota. This game is at 2:30 on ESPN, Josh.
This could be a sneaky good game, I think, despite North Carolina going double overtime with App State last week. Give me the Heels here. I think their offense is just a little better than Minnesota's defense, and I'm not sure if Minnesota can run with those horses.
North Carolina in a rout.
Ooh.
North Carolina big. Too much offense going on. They're gonna score them out of the building. UNC covers the 6.5 by I would say a wide margin. 2 to 3 touchdowns. Number 8, Washington. Sorry, I'm checking these on the fly here. Number 8, Washington is a 16.5-point favorite.
It's a big number.
At Michigan State. Okay, if you thought that matchup was weird enough, I know they played each other last year and watched them. This game is also on Peacock exclusively, and it begins at 4 p.m. Central Time.
Meanwhile, Syracuse and somebody is on NBC.
Awesome. Am I crazy to just think that number is too significant? I just I don't like anything about what's going on with Michigan State right now. That's for sure. But I just think the number there's a backdoor cover that is just waiting. for Michigan State here. I'm going to take Sparty to cover the 16.5. I hate myself for doing it because I hate picking the teams that I actually don't think have a chance to win the football game, which I don't think Michigan State does. I'll take them to cover, but really it's more of a backdoor situation.
Things are a mess in East Lansing. There's no way that they can cover, even at home against Washington.
There's
Washington's
no way,
too good.
Josh.
Washington, Michael Penix wants some Heisman numbers, and he's going to try and get them this weekend.
We're on the opposite side.
Give me the Huskies.
Let's see. Let's check on Tennessee. Tennessee, number 11 Tennessee, is a 6.5 point favorite in Gainesville in the Swamp, Florida, 6 o'clock on ESPN tomorrow night. Josh?
I know that this is often a problem spot for Tennessee, but I expect them to cover. Florida is bad.
Yep. Florida bad. That's it. That's my reasoning.
Don't overthink it.
Tennessee by a touchdown or more. Our Sickos game of the week.
Ooh.
Time for the beautiful, lovely unveiling of our Sickos game of the week, which the line is currently not available on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
What does that mean?
I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's so icky that they just took it down. But I was more interested in the total for this week. Basically, this is the lowest total in college football that I could find this week, and especially between two Power 5 teams. And it comes to us at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon on the Big Ten Network. Virginia Tech and Rutgers.
That is a Sickos game.
It gets better.
Oh.
Virginia Tech is at a tough start to their season. They lost to Purdue. Had to scrape their way through Old Dominion in week 1. Rutgers, meanwhile, beat Northwestern and then beat somebody crappy last week.
Temple.
Rutgers is a 7-point favorite. Rutgers is a 7-point favorite, and the over-under for this game is 36. Hell yes. Sickos game of the week if I've ever seen one. Josh, give me Rutgers to cover the 7 and give me the under 36.
Give me Rutgers and the over.
Rutgers in the over.
Rutgers scored 36 last week.
Yeah, against who?
Temple.
Who?
Temple.
Who? And we finish. Northern Illinois makes their triumphant return to Memorial Stadium for the first time in 4 years tomorrow when they take on dear old Nebraska U, who is a 10.5 point favorite tomorrow on Fox Sports 1 at 6 o'clock p.m. Jeff Levering and Mark Helfrich have the call on FS1. Listen to Big Red Overreaction afterwards. Josh, the final score of this game will be, since I love picking weird scores, I'm in full support of the weird score boys. Nebraska wins by the final count of an ugly, but a win, 23-9. Oh. Let me see. Is that what it's? Does it say the same thing I said?
24-10 is what I have.
There it is.
I also have, though, 7-7 at halftime.
Okay, I can go along with you there.
I'm getting North Dakota vibes from this game where we're just,
I told you,
really, we can't put away Northern Illinois.
I told you that my process on this earlier this week. I have this working score that I just sort of adjust throughout the week, and it was 24-7. Like that was sort of my starting number. I'm going with 23-9 because I just love the weirdo scores.
Yeah.
23-9 is the final score. Nebraska covers. They win. You get to take a deep breath. Nothing is fixed, but you feel a little bit better because you're 1-2 going to the Louisiana Tech game. All right, those are our picks for the weekend. We'll check on those on Monday. Full questions tell you what to watch next.
It's an NFL doubleheader on Sports USA. And first, the Bengals host a battle with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Then we're off to LA as Stafford, Kupp, and the Rams butt heads with Purdy and McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers.
Purdy out of the gun, hands it off, putting his head down near the goal line, and in is Christian McCaffrey.
It's the Ravens at the Bengals, then the Niners at the Rams. This Sunday on Sports USA.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. It's not just about getting a cone or maybe a couple of scoops. Call ahead and get your refrigerator, freezer filled with Ted and Wally's ice cream. We're talking about getting quarts or half gallons. All you have to do is call ahead and tell them that's what you want. Over 3,000 flavors, so whatever you're looking for, they have it. And if you have some special needs, if you're lactose intolerant or you're worried about keto, they'll help you as well. Over 3,000 flavors, 2 locations. Tell them Severe sent you.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization.
Flag football for ages 8 to 14 runs through October 20th, and PACE needs sponsors to help pay for refs, jerseys, and other equipment. Go to paceomaha.org to help. And thank you for your support from PACE.
Please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
You know that feeling. When you do something good for someone else, that volunteer vibe is worth chasing. To find your perfect volunteer fit, check out shareomaha.org. Find simple and fun ways to help. Give your time your way at shareomaha.org.
Suicide can be prevented by knowing the warning signs. And most importantly, knowing what to do if you recognize those signs in yourself, a loved one, or even a stranger. There are simple ways you can be there for someone, so they can be here for more tomorrows. Visit moretomorrowsne.org to learn the signs, how to approach the conversation, and where to get help. Or call 988 for help now. That's moretomorrowsne.org.
Poll questions, one from yesterday. Is the dollar like the Dallas Cowboys uniform?
Timeless or not as valuable as it was in the 90s?
Yeah, it's depreciated quite a bit. Yeah, it's just like that. 55% say no.
Running neck and neck there.
It's not like that. From today, is fumbling the ball out of the end zone for a touchback one of the 3 worst feelings in sports? Tough to tell. I'd have to come up with my list. But for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to say yes.
Willing to hear that argument. Yes.
91% say yes.
Oh, wow.
Is being jailed the ultimate cancellation?
I forgot about that.
I actually think death is probably the ultimate cancellation.
Sure.
But I like the poll question, so I'd like to support it. Yes. 71% say yes. Is getting your piss hot the best football phrase?
I don't think so.
No? All right. 53% say no so far. Running hot, just like the aforementioned subject. Do you want Heinrich Harburg to do the first down motion as many times as possible tomorrow?
Most voted on poll question of the day and our 1,000th poll question of the year.
81% say yes. And proffered by Steve Sipple.
Yes.
And finally, which is the more shocking revelation? That Steve Sipple loves the first down, loves when people do the first down sign, or that my favorite line in cinematic history is from Benjamin Button when he says, "I'm 7, but I look a lot older." It's Sipple. I mean, honestly, when our voters are put in the conundrum of seeing 2 names and they say Sipple or Happer, you're going to click on Sipple, right?
More times than not.
I get it. I know my place. 75% say Sipple. Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching this weekend?
We are watching the National Football League this weekend. Games here locally. Chiefs-Jags at noon on CBS. They've got the doubleheader this week.
Go Chiefs! Respect.
Respect, of course. We will get Jets-Cowboys at 3 o'clock on CBS Sunday. Packers-Falcons, your noon game on Fox. Sunday Night Football. Dolphins-Patriots this weekend. College football. Virginia at Maryland tonight on FS1 at 6 o'clock.
Hell yeah.
Iowa State at Ohio, 11 a.m. tomorrow, ESPNU. Alabama travels to USF for some reason at 2:30 tomorrow on ABC. That's the same time that Iowa will host Western Michigan. They're still a 28.5-point favorite. That's on BTN.
Is that Josh's play of the week?
It is. Colorado hosts Colorado State. It will be personal under the lights on ESPN. 9 o'clock kickoff time for Coach Prime. And
his many hats.
Cheap plug, number 2, Iowa Western hosts Highland. 1 o'clock at Lewis Central in Council Bluffs. Free tailgate before the game.
Hell yeah.
That free tailgate includes drinks as well.
Go Reavers, undefeated.
That's right. Baseball this weekend. Rays and Orioles, 6 o'clock tonight on Apple TV. Those teams play a 3-game set this weekend. They are each within a game of each other for best record in the American League. Royals are on ESPN Plus tonight at 7 o'clock against the Astros. Phillies Cardinals, 7 o'clock on Apple tonight. Yankees Pirates, 5:30 tomorrow on ESPN Plus. Reds Mets, 12:30 Sunday afternoon on ESPN Plus. Sunday Night Baseball. The Cubs, and of course, America's Team, 6 o'clock Sunday.
Huge series.
Yeah. Those teams are neck and neck in the wild card right now. There's like 5 or 6 teams that could get into the NL playoffs. WNBA playoffs, a couple game ones tonight on ESPN2, 6:30, Washington Mystics and the New York Liberty, and then the Atlanta Dream against the Dallas Wings. After football, after Jets Cowboys on Sunday on CBS, it is 60 Minutes where they will talk to Coach Prime. And then at 7:30, Connor, on CBS, the way God intended it to be seen, the pilot episode of Yellowstone will air because CBS and the fine folks at Paramount, they don't have writers, they don't have actors, so they have to put something on Sunday nights.
Oh, no.
They think you'll watch a heavily edited version of Yellowstone. No. And finally on
They'd be wrong.
Finally on Peacock, Fast X has arrived, the 10th in the Fast and Furious franchise. Dom Toretto and his family confront the most lethal opponent they've ever faced as a past threat emerges from the shadows. Played by Jason Momoa, who's having more fun than any human being has ever had in any movie ever. Fast X on Peacock.
You seem excited about that.
Fast X is a great movie.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching this weekend, and that is the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Don't forget, Big Red Overreaction after the game with John and Nick.
Nick's debut.
Deep into the night on Saturday night. The crossover's next.
Live from the host